match of the day, broadcast on The Pulse. Now, here to bring all the action to your radio, our team on 94.7 The Pulse.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first week of the GDFNL finals from St Albans. Beautiful sunbathed oval, and we have flags so we know which way the wind's blowing. We won't get caught out like we did last week at Belpost Hill. The wind is blowing to the Geelong City end, and it's probably about a 3-goal breeze. That'll make no difference at all to what's happening at the netball, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Grubbycations, good afternoon to you.
G'day viewers, g'day listeners, g'day everyone.
Good to see you've got your netball shoes on again, because our
white shoes on again.
Our first guest for today is heavily involved in today's qualifying final. Winchelsea, a couple of weeks ago, were top on the ladder, surprised a few, but not them. Lost last week, dropped top spot to East Geelong, so they're playing Thompson today.
Who did they lose to, did you say?
Was the mighty Werribee Central's outfit, I do believe. We'll be talking about them in detail tomorrow, but the coach of the Winchelsea Netball Club, two-time Margaret Webb medalist, Casey Carroll, good afternoon, welcome.
Thank you, good afternoon.
It's good to have you on, very exciting day. This is what you play for. You're one of the most fiercely determined people I've seen on a netball court, and I guess this is what it's all about. So before we get to the team, personally, how are you feeling still? Do you get excited?
Yeah, I love finals time. So have played in a number of years with finals, and nothing quite feels like finals time for me. The level of intensity just increases that much more, and this is what we play for.
Now, you have a side that hasn't played a lot of finals. You might have some individuals that have, but certainly the young homegrown Winch girls, Megan Connie Royal, Ebony Berg, won't have experienced what they're going to hit today. How much time have you spent getting them ready for that?
Yeah, we've spent all year, so pre-season and throughout the season. Finals was always an aim for us, and we always envisaged ourselves playing finals. We've tried to emulate that as much as possible through training and gameplay. So we've prepared them as best as we possibly can. We've done the work, and now it's just got to implement it today. Much
talk about your recruiting. You got Gemma Stavanuta to come and play as goalkeeper, and Melody Philpott sort of out of retirement to come and play as your goal shooter. Both of them have been extremely successful to the point they would be very much in line for Team of the Year, even League Best and Fairest. You must be thrilled with the time and effort you put in to get them across.
Yeah, correct. Both two quality players, one up the defensive end, one up the goaling end. They both bring different, diverse elements to the game, and we're so happy to have them on board at Winchelsea, not only from a skill perspective, but the culture and the positive attitudes that they bring to the club. They've just added another dimension to it. So I would be shocked if I didn't see them in Team of the Year. So that, I'm a bit biased.
Not wishing to influence the selectors.
No, not at all.
You've got to fit 6 East people, so it's going to be hard.
It is going to be hard. I wrote a little bit in the record last week about not just what they've brought to the team, but beside them is two of those young girls we spoke about. Connie Royal, who's battled against the odds in defence with not a lot of support, and Ebony Berg, who you've had high hopes for at the club for a long time. Those two have also blossomed, having those good players around them. That must be good for you as well.
Yeah, correct. The partnerships that they've formed on the court has made for them a really successful season, and I think just having the confidence of a strong partnership has really brought them out in their game, and we've really seen them play some really good netball this season.
I spoke to you on the radio the morning you were playing Thompson in the first round. You were very upbeat and confident. You'd had a good start. It was your first outing against one of the seasoned campaigners. It would be fair to suggest that you come up short by about 12, if I remember. The next time you played them, you reversed that, so it was about a 25-goal turnaround. What does that mean for your internal confidence going into today's game?
Yeah, I think the season's thrown us a lot of different challenges, but also we've had some really good success. And I think with every game, we will always go back, have a look at areas of opportunity for where we could improve on, where we can continue to build on. I think that's why there was such a difference when we came and played them a couple of weeks ago. And I think, if anything, the girls have just put into practice what we've been training. We've stuck to our strategies, we've stuck to our systems, we've got a particular game plan, and that's why we've managed to have the success that we have, because we've stayed true to it.
Thompson's team is full of finals campaign has been there a long time. They've had a really bad month or 6 weeks. They've lost a couple of games and badly, and their own season's under pressure. But I guess backs to the wall sort of stuff coming into the finals, really what they've served up the last month's irrelevant, isn't it?
Correct. I think you can't underestimate a team like Thompson. I think anyone in that top 5 can take it out, and I think that's what makes this season so competitive. I think we'd be silly to count them out as well and take them lightly. So irrespective of the wins and losses throughout the season, we're both playing on the same netball court today, and the better team will win.
Just from a local netball league, you've played some pretty high-level stuff, and you've 10 or so years ago in the GDFL and back in it now. We've seen the football improve a lot. How much has the quality of the netball at A-grade level improved in the GDFL in your time? Yeah,
in my time I've definitely seen a bit of a shift. When I played, it was quite some time ago, back in 2011 I think I came over to Bellpost Hill, and there was a distinct difference between your top 3 sides to the rest of the ladder, especially in A-grade, whereas now we're seeing a more balanced competition, and we're seeing some talent be attracted to a lot of different teams. We're seeing a lot of versatility in teams showing up in finals. So I've definitely noticed a shift, which is really positive for the competition, I feel.
That is good. We wish you all the very best.
Hang on, I've got a question. You think I'm just going to...
No, I'm impressed.
Right.
I'm impressed.
Under 13s, 5th, under 15s, 5th, under 17s, and under 19s, 7th, 7th, and then 8th, 5th, 2nd, 3rd. To me, that's a fair platform to build on rather than have to recruit so much. So do you work with those kids, hoping that one day you can make them into A-grade players?
Correct. So I think your juniors are the building blocks of any club, and investing in them throughout the years and giving them the exposure to good coaching, to good players, just builds that club even further. So we've got some great up-and-comings. Yeah. It's just some time and investment that will need to be put into them, but there's no reason why you can't see some of those under 13s, 15s in years to come playing, your A and B grade.
Which eases the recruiting problem a bit.
Correct.
Too. And I have done a little bit of research.
I'm impressed.
You finished 2nd, but it was only on percentage.
Correct.
Right, but when I look at this, the goals for, fair enough, they're close, but the differential in goals scored between East is 162 goals. That to me seems a hell of a lot of goals over the years. But forget about them. You're playing them next week maybe. But with Thompson, it's pretty close. Right? The differential here is only about 19 and 29. So that tells me, not knowing netball, but knowing sport, that tells me that today will be a very, very attacking game. And do you actually say, right, we're going to kick like that? Spider Brady just texted me and said, you don't kick goals. I said, I won't say that. No, you don't score, like you're going to score goals.
Yep.
Do you make extra emphasis on your defence to make sure today that they don't?
Yep. Well, that's something that we actually focused on after the first 4-week block. We knew that as a team we can score goals and we're pretty good at getting in our attack in, but there was probably a little bit of a gap in our defensive throughout from attack through to defence, and we've actually been working really hard on that throughout the season as well. So that was an area that we had actually identified ourselves. Okay. We knew we were really strong attacking and scoring, but when it gets turned over, sometimes we fell a little bit short.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, so we actually turned that around after the first 4 weeks of our season.
Okay, now every interview, I always ask a dickhead question. So, Daniel Gretzky's retired. He's 6'7". He's not playing footy. He looked good in a skirt. You got a spot for him next year in a netball?
I'd have a spot for dogs any time of the day, for sure.
Good on you.
Just on that, the club itself, no success, final success for the footy. I've seen at other clubs when the footballers get behind a good A-grade netball team, it can mean a lot. It looks like you've got a bit of that support here today. How important is that going to be to know that the whole club is behind you?
Yeah, I think we've actually been really, really fortunate throughout the whole season. Our crowd is one of the best crowds I've ever seen, and today to have the footballers, to have people from the community, players that aren't playing in finals but have made the time to come down, that's the type of thing that can turn momentum around. It can get you goals. So we're really appreciative of our club and the supporters that get behind us.
That's the question you shouldn't ask, as Smitty will say, because if all Winch will see you here, I need a new washing machine. There'll be people out there.
Casey, congratulations on your career and certainly the work you've done in the off-season and this year with the group. You've surprised many where you're sitting. I think a few thought you might make finals, maybe crawl into fifth, but you've been quite outstanding. Best wishes for today and the rest of the final series, and hopefully you can bring some much-needed silverware to the Blues.
That would be great.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks very much.
Steelo, we might go back to you in the studio to clear a couple of sponsorship announcements, so we'll get back here and tear to pieces this GDFL match of the day. In the reserves before we go back, Inverleigh are 7 goals 5-47. Bannockburn are 4 goals 5-29, and we are 2 minutes into the final quarter. This is 94.7 The Pulse, GDFNL Football, your home of local football.
.7 The Pulse.
We are back at the Gordon Tafe Oval, St Albans football ground, GDFL finals. A couple of absolute classics here today, and they're both Bannockburn versus Inverleigh. These two sides, Dale Smith would know firsthand. Good afternoon to you, Dale, by the way.
Thank you, Rob.
You've been heavily involved in both. You know how much they dislike each other, don't you?
Oh, yeah, there used to be. And it's probably, I don't know whether the players as much these days, but back in the old days, it was definitely a day that you just wanted to be part of. As I said, I went to school with half the blokes I used to play footy with, but Saturday was all on. You know, just go hard, try to hurt each other, and Monday morning was back mucking around again at school, I suppose. And that hasn't changed in all that time. So
You just stuff that up.
I missed the opportunity to
All year you've been saying, oh, what a great Geelong champion. He's got to go to the reunion today, and you forgot about it. Hello, ex-Geelong champion, Dale Smith. How are you?
Yeah, good, Grub. Nice to be here.
What are you up to tonight, Dale?
For a little while, anyway.
What are you up to tonight, Dale?
Yeah, no, we've got a 1982 Premiership reunion at Geelong. It starts about 3:30, 4:45. And after that, I'm not too sure. They did say there was something going on, but they haven't made plans at this stage. So,
and knowing you, the way you behave, you're more likely to be the taxi driver than the troublemaker.
I won't be doing anything too serious. Got to go to work at 6:30 in the morning, mate. So, yeah, no.
Anyway, it's good. Reunions are great. So what's that, 40 years ago?
Yes.
GFL
You're so old.
And I'll have another one next year too.
Don't look a day over 40.
Bell Park, 1983 Premiership reunion.
So you had a Geelong one last year?
I've had
81?
80, 81, 82.
3 in a row, and Bell Park 84.
Yeah.
Incredible. That's quite a...
Probably the first 4 finals I've ever played in, I think.
And won them all.
Yeah.
That's probably why I got you so many coaching gigs, because you had such an impressive record.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, until he got there and they all sacked him.
That's part of football.
Right, we have another guest this afternoon. Grubby needs a bit of help. There's so much to talk about during finals, action all over the ground, so we thought we'd go to somebody who should know what's going on. He's paid to know what's going on. Coach of the Belmont Lions. They are not involved in the finals, but that doesn't mean that their coach doesn't know a lot about the finals combatants. Nathan Bissett, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, lads. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. We'll be expecting some insightful commentary from you as to what's happening. But let's deal with the score at the moment. Just an update. Inverleigh 8-8-56, Bannockburn 4-5-29. We're 8 minutes into the final quarter. Inverleigh look like they're going comfortable. But outside of the traditional rival factor, we've seen 2 games between the 2 clubs this year. A ripper on Anzac Day. Inverleigh came back after Bannockburn run down their lead, got in front of them. They won by 4 points. And then later on, the game that Inverleigh completely dominated. They kicked poorly that day and still won by a lot. Bannockburn looked very second-rate. Form line since then suggests that these 2 teams are very close. How do you see it, Nathan?
Look, it's as we spoke about earlier there, Rob, it's definitely a game of sort of maturity versus class, I reckon. If the class at Inverleigh can stand true and get that ball to the outside nice and quick, I think this big ground's going to suit them a little bit more than what that Bannockburn side's looking like. They are quite bash and crash, Bannockburn. We felt the full force of that during the season. But just going back to the rivalry you mentioned, I was fortunate enough to play a year at Bannockburn there in, I believe it was 2017, and lucky enough to play in an Anzac Day clash where I think we might have been a draw at the final siren, and Benny Cole went back, our ruckman, who we had no faith in at the time whatsoever, but he went back and kicked us a handy point on the siren and got us up by a point. So, as you said, that rivalry stems from way back, but it's still continuing through to this day, that's for sure.
Grubby, I know you love these finals matches and you've got a lot of respect for both of these sides, probably particularly Bannockburn, because your club Werribee had a wonderful era of rivalry with the 2. How important is the rivalry, and can it get a bit lost if you focus too much on it?
Oh, you bet it can. Yes, I do have a lot of respect for Bannockburn. I think it was 5 years in a row we played them. I was president for the first 2, which we lost. They gave me the arse, and we won the next 3. So they did pretty well, Herman. But with your question, yeah, there's got to be rivalry. There's got to be, toughness. You got to tackle hard. You got to bump them and not hit them in the head, and you just got to go flat out. It's a final. But the minute you start mucking around and touching blokes in the face and getting free kicks and giving 50s away, you take the rivalry too far, because, yeah, it's a great rivalry. Rivalry means nothing when you're playing finals footy. Playing next week means everything. So if you think you're going to give a 50 away or a free kick by playing with that rivalry, don't do it, because you might cost your side a game.
Even though a lot of players are new to both clubs, when they come into the rooms and the preparations for the games, they can't help but be bought into it. The experienced players around them talk about the rivalry and the hatred, whatever they like to call it. And young players just get caught up.
Well, I've been wandering around talking to Big Mick Higgleton, and then I went over and talked to a few of the Inverleigh, Casey Meehan's dad and that, and they're solid citizens who sort of don't carry on, and you can just, it's boiling over them. You can see that the tension's there. And when it's like that, you're right. When someone moves to Bannockburn and play, or Inverleigh, it just has to grow on you because it's just there. You can cut it with a knife. It's just there.
You see a lot of those old fellas that are still floating around those clubs. They still ride the bumps of today's game, don't they? You know, your Ronnie Pilgrims and that were part of that big bash and crash era. You know, they ride the bumps that's happening out in that field now. It's great to watch. It's good to see how passionate they are still about their clubs.
Well, there's a lot of things that he'd like to tell them to do that he just can't in today's footy because you get them rubbed out. So you can't.
Now, Grubby, you're the captain of the ship. Have you worked out how you two are going to manage this? Are you taking a team each? Or,
yes. At this stage, I'll be coaching Bannockburn, and Bisso will be coaching Inverleigh for today's game.
Is that likely to change if the scoreboard does?
Well, after the first 5 minutes,
I wouldn't mind being on the winning team for once there. Grubby, see what we can do.
Well, what it is really doesn't matter who's on the winning team, as long as we can give a good perspective of the people listening on how the game's going, but not just how the game's going, but what pre-game, we'll get into it shortly, what we think we might do, and then during the game we might be able to say he might have to move him, and we'll do that to try and keep it up and see how it goes, but it just provides a little bit more entertainment for our viewers and our listeners.
So starting on that, Nathan, let's pretend that the Belmont Lions are playing today. You've had to prepare to play against Bannockburn. So what were the things that you really looked out for that instructed your team we have to concentrate in these areas because that's where they're strong?
Yeah, definitely. Look, playing against Bannockburn throughout the year, they are quite solid in the contest. So what I want to do is I want to flick that ball to the outside as quick as possible. Being Belmont, we had with Jack Evans in there all year who bashed and crashed for us, and he was very good at getting that ball to your Brock Marnies and the boys on the outside. So my focus would be solely on getting that ball as wide as possible early, using the full width of this beautiful big ground, and making sure that Bannockburn have to defend the whole ground, not just one side of the ground for the day. So that would be my focus from a Belmont perspective.
The battle in the ruck is going to be interesting. Whether we know Inverleigh are going with Wilson, but whether Bannockburn play Fulton in the ruck or play him as a key forward to stretch a Jack Filet short defence, or whether they just use Fulton in the ruck and try and match it there.
I've roved to all three of those boys. Obviously had Poodle, Lukey Wilson at Anarchy with me, and obviously my 1 year at Bannockburn there was spent with Benny Cole and Fulton, and I'd like to think that it'd be a great battle there. Poodle's probably more of your 360-degree tap ruckman in the centre, but I don't think you can go with the physicality of Ben Cole and Fulton around the ground. So it's going to be an interesting match-up. If we can, if a lot of goals are kicked and there's a lot of centre bounce work, you're going to see Poodle's ability to really use his hand all around that ground and feed those midfielders.
Grubby, I know how much you love Kieran Fulton. Are you playing forward or ruck today?
Well, that's I haven't decided yet, and being a coach, I'm not telling you just yet. But the first thing I do, I walk into the Bannockburn rooms, right, and I say, right, just punch them up. No, I don't say that. What I do is that Inverleigh over the last 4 weeks haven't been as good as they've been, right? And to me, that means their confidence might be a little bit shot in some of their better players. So I'm going to instruct these blokes, just give it everything you got for the first 20 minutes. We need a lead. I don't care what it is, but we need a lead, because if we get a couple of goal lead, the confidence saps from their blokes. So a great start, whilst normally it's important, today is ultra important to get that good start. Right? I've got all my matchups, and we'll go through them in a minute. But the other thing is, no matter what I do from out here, no matter what my matchups are, right, the big key here on St Albans, and I know it is normal, but your disposals. Because you get to the half-forward flank, and normally you're having a shot for goal. Here you're still 50, 60 metres out. So you've got to have a bloke running forward. You've got to have a bloke running back. And if your disposal is spot on down the ground, you'll beat them. And so other than the matchups, they're the two things I'm going to focus on right from the start.
I think you think your decision-making goes with that disposal, doesn't it, Grubby?
Yep.
I think it's all good executing the kick, but at the same time, if it's not the right decision, especially on a ground like this, if you're coming through the middle of the ground, you go wide to a wing. You look at these deep pockets here and these deep flanks, you go wider again, and you can actually put yourself further from goal.
Exactly, you go nowhere. That's right. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Even though you've gone forward, you've actually gone further from your destination.
At some point, like Belpost Hill did for about 10 years, at some point, you've got to get someone into the middle.
Correct.
Dale Smith, you keep very detailed analysis. Can you go back to the last time these two sides met? Because we know that Anzac Day Inverleigh kicked 3 goals in 5 minutes to kick off, and I'm pretty sure they started well against Bannockburn last time as well. So, Grubby, that start that you spoke about for Bannockburn is just vital, isn't
It is vital today. It is vital today. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, 5 goals to 3 in the first quarter. Inverleigh kicked 5, and I think Paddy Burke kicked 6 for the day. So
Yeah, but I think Inverleigh kicked 3 or 4 before Bannockburn got any. Would that be right? Or maybe 1.
Possibly, yeah, possibly.
And they did Inverleigh kicked a lot of points that day too, from memory, did they?
14-9 they kicked. 14-9 to 8-9 it was, final score.
No, I was thinking of another game then when they were...
Oh, you're thinking Anzac Day, aren't you?
No, I'm trying to think of a game where they kicked a huge number of points and they're always on the top of it. So, the young players, there's a few that Ronnie Pilgrim has stuck with all year, Grubby, and that's a good sign for a coach that his faith in these kids, and they're in there today. They're not there for points purposes, they're there because they've earned their stripes. Good balance, isn't it, to have experience around some keen kids?
Yeah, it is. If I have a look through the players running around out here, you know, Link Peters, he played a lot of senior games this year, and I thought I'd see him in the ones today, but he's not, and he's nearly done. You know, I mean, he's nearly done.
Vickers there as well, Grubby, coming to the
Who?
bench. Braden Vickers, coming to the bench there. He's played a lot of senior footy.
Yeah, this year he came back injured, and I don't think he's been back in the seniors.
Okay, yeah.
Callum Hetherington's played a fair bit of senior footy.
He's out there today.
And it's not, as you say, it's not for points, right? These blokes are really good players. But they're going to stick with the young blokes because they're just playing better. They're just playing better, and that's a good thing. And the thing is, yes, they have got some young players, but they've got enough experience around them to look after them and help them through the tight spots through the afternoon.
How have you seen Jack Broman's year with the responsibility of coaching the side? He was clearly a dominant player through last year and in the premiership year as well, but has he been at his best, and you'd think if not, has the coaching sort of clouded his game?
No, I don't think he's been at his best, but I'm not putting that down to the coaching because he's got such a good backup in Ronnie Pilgrim that I don't think that's worrying him. A broken foot might be. That might be worrying him a little bit. But I reckon early last year, when they threw him down forward and he kicked 7, then he kicked 8, and then he kicked another 8, and they thought, wow, how valuable is he down forward? But once people get onto that, he wasn't kicking them after that. And I think his form on-field dropped. Like, if you have a look at the Whitley medal last year, from memory, he had 9 votes after 3 games. And he finished with 12 votes. So he's only got 3 more for the whole year. So I reckon that probably hurt him. And then, as I say, his injury this year. But where do I play him today? I mean, I want to play him in the middle. I reckon if Inverleigh's got Matty Tyquin in the middle, which they will have, I think Jack's got to be in there. But at some point, I've got to get him down forward. Probably at the same point, I get Kieran down there. So they're both down there at the same time. Because as I look around the Bannockburn forwards, I don't know where all my goals are coming from. I know Billy Ritchie's going to get me a couple. I know Tristan Battaglia will probably get me a couple, maybe 1 or 2. But I need someone to kick 4 or 5 goals. If they can go down there and kick 4 or 5 or 6 between them, but I don't want to leave us vulnerable in the middle. Correct. And that's my biggest problem for the afternoon.
You look at the 2 coaches we got today, both obviously in Jack and Buck, both very versatile players. Would you agree? Well, both have played all 3 lines throughout the year. I know against us, Buck played down back and give him a lot of drive off a half back. So from a player who won the goal kicking last year to go back and then still create some drive off the half back, it's a great I suppose, option to have, isn't it, when your coach can play all 3 lines? Yeah,
well, it will. And you said Jack can do the same sort of thing. And,
correct.
He's played most of his, started off playing most of his footy off the half-back line and was one of probably the best flankers going round. So, yeah, you've got blokes that are versatile. As I said, Buck, from my point of view, the last couple of weeks, he's trying to get the side going, but I think he needs to concentrate more on his own game. Let the blokes that are sitting on the bench do the coaching side of things. Let him get out there and get involved in the game. He has been down, and he'd be the first one to admit that his performance over the last 2 or 3 times that we've seen him hasn't been quite that good. So, as I said, they've got an opportunity today. He's got a bit of space out here. I imagine if he goes forward, Dan Messers is probably going to take him, and you've got a great contest there. So it's going to be very interesting to see how those 2 blokes go. But again, having said that, I still reckon Buck's a bloke that can still throw through the middle. He doesn't have to be that physical presence in there because you've got Matty Tyquin that shows a bit of strength in there. You've got Hutchie, which might spend some time in there. You've got Ryan Robinson that spends, and Lovey, all blokes to go chase the ball. So he can be that outside player, as you're talking about, be that smart bloke because he's a good user of the ball down the ground.
Yeah, he doesn't have to get worn down early by the physicality of the game. He can get himself to the outside. But I suppose from a coaching perspective, an on-field coach, sometimes you find yourself just filling the hole. If you've got a player out down back, you end up down back, or you've got your forward out, you go down forward. And sometimes it can be detrimental. It takes away from your game. You're trying to coach and you're playing out of position. Sometimes it might not be in your strongest position. So
Well, that's probably cost you a spot in the team of the year, I'd say, at Belmont. You're coaching Inverleigh today.
Yep.
Where you playing Buck?
I think you've got to start him forward. I truly believe you've got to start him forward. He leading goal kicker last year, not for no reason. I think a man like that, he's smart, especially with a big 50. If you can isolate himself and Casey in there, 2 out, and if Bannockburn aren't smart enough to drop a bloke behind to try and cut that off, even if you do, it's still wide enough here that you can get out and get some space. So that would be a dynamic duo for me. Having Casey down there with Buck, I think that's 2 smart options that you're kicking to.
Well, as soon as you do that, I'm putting Dan Measures on him, who's played on him twice and pantsed him twice through the year. Absolutely dominated him.
Yep.
Right? So I did a bit of spying, and I actually went over to your camp before the game, and I told Donahue, where are you going to play? I asked him where you're going to play. He said, forward. I said, you'll get Dan Measures. He goes, yep. I said, well, it's about time you bloody well beat him.
I don't
'Cause
like this insider trading.
He's flogged you twice. If you're going to win, don't move yourself around. Just beat him. He said, yeah, I know. So he'll be right out to beat him because it'll be a great contest. And I don't know. I actually said to him, I watched you last week. You were kicking the ball before you're supposed to kick it because you're a little bit worried about. He said, well, I have lost the yard of pace. I said, that's why you're doing it. But you're better off getting tackled.
Just interesting that the best Inverleigh side doesn't have McHugh and Walsh as a key forward, and today Jack Follett as a key defender. They've also lost Nathan Mays today. So if Buck's saying, where am I most needed, getting back to what you were saying, does he go back to provide that experience that Jack Follett is missing, or does he go down to provide that extra goal kicker that, well, particularly Nathan Mays today being the smaller bloke? It's a bit betwixt and between, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I don't care why he goes down there, as long as it's not because Measures has pantsed him again. You stay there and beat him, because if he does that, that'll be 3 in a row.
I'll ask you a question. How do you win a game? You got to kick goals, don't you? There's no point being the best side on the ground if you don't put the score on the board. I've heard it time and time again from coaches, I think we're the best side on the day. Well, hang on. You didn't kick goals. You've got to kick goals, and I think to have Buck in that forward line, he's just a no-brainer for me.
Oh, that's where he'll play. That's where I'll be playing.
I'll ask the next question over to you then, Bissay. You look at the Inverleigh defence without Jack Follett in it.
Yeah.
I go back with what we're talking about here. Do we need to have him back there just to provide that surety and that bloke that's got that head that can direct and tell blokes where they need to be? Or do you just bank on the back six that have been there most of the year? And as I said, they're not a bad back six.
No, not at
but
all.
Without Jack Follett being in there, I think that, from what I've seen in recent weeks, opposition sides are kicking more goals against them. So I just wonder whether his experience, knowledge, direction from back there can be more valuable there than as just being, kicking your 2 or 3.
I think it's one of those options, the old Rob and Peter to give to Paul. Is that the one, Grubber?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what
I think that's what it is. You're taking away from your. I think you got to start positive, and that would, for me, that'd look like Buck in the forward line.
Yep.
But in saying that, I don't see Buck and Jack Follett in the same category. I see one as a rebound back, and I see one as an intercept marker. Jack Follett's intercept marking this year has been phenomenal. In the game that we played him out there, and the one at home, he would have had 10 intercept marks.
Yep.
He didn't play the second time, but the first time he would have had 10 intercept marks in half a game of footy.
He plays a bit like Dean Talbot, doesn't he?
He does, actually.
Yeah, but what you're saying is, they need some organisation down there.
I think so.
Without Jack Follett.
Yep.
Excuse me.
They need a
Watching
plan
them the
B.
last couple of weeks, definitely. Because their back line's been all at sea. So I don't know who they're going to do that. Have that down there today, but yes, that's why you want him maybe down there to organise properly. Because you'll have to organise it properly.
I do.
Well, he was there against East Geelong, and they looked very disorganised anyway. So
that was late in the game, though. I think he went back in that East Geelong game, and he got a lot of possessions late in the game. They were trash possessions, if you want to call them at that stage. But they were trying to just hold up and not make things blow out. But it got really ugly after half time. They kicked the first one after half time, and I don't think they've scored from that after then, from memory.
There's 2 interesting players have come into the Inverleigh side this year. Buck bought them from his time at Geelong Amateurs, Jared Young and Brad Circuit. It would be fair to suggest that they haven't got anywhere reaching the expectations. In the rooms before the game, do you wave the finger at those 2 blokes if you're Buck?
I think absolutely you do. I think it's one of those things that you got to find a way to get the best out of your side, and if that's by pointing blokes out and a bit of old school, hey, it's time to stand up and it's time to be accounted, and you need to show us what we brought you out here to do.
They've been around long enough to have that They've been in both worlds, haven't they?
Look,
So I'm not saying about their age, but I'm just saying
I think they can handle that very well.
Yeah.
I think they would respond to a bit of finger pointing. I think, my time as coach, it's not like it used to be. I played under some very tough coaches in my time, and sometimes you just got to learn that if you're in the firing line, it's for a reason.
Yeah, look, I'm sitting in the Bannockburn camp, and some people might just put their hand up and say, I don't have to worry about them too much, but I've been around footy for a lot longer than that.
Oh, Circuit's a
Circuit can play. I know that. I've never seen that, but I know it. And he's liable to cut loose, so I'll be watching him. But I disagree with the fact that Youngie hasn't given what they want him to give. After talking to Donahue and whatnot, the role they give him, he performs every week. Now, we might not see that from in here, but Adam Donahue, he's just very, very happy with the role he gives Jared and the way he carries it out each week. So I've got no problems with him, but I'd be watching Circuit because I know sooner or later he might explode, and I'm bloody well hoping it ain't today.
I can also say from I obviously got stuck with Circuit throughout the year twice there, and his skills. You got to put the pressure on him early. You give him that extra split second, he'll make the right call. And coming back to what we spoke about earlier, Grubby, there, and yes, you got to execute, but you got to make the right decision too. And he's a player that can do both. Yeah. So if you give him an extra second around that ball to pull the trigger, he's one that doesn't have to rack a lot of touches to be influential.
Yeah, for sure.
Inverleigh last week was one of his better games too, from all reports.
Yeah.
So
and Amos too, he'd have a bit of finals experience there.
Your midfield is very new compared to the Premiership team, and the two that really stand out for me have been Lockie Middleton and Billy Ritchie. Their game's gone to another level this year. How's it important for them to be really winning the ball in the middle early?
Well, very, very important, because he's one of the blokes I'll be targeting, because I agree with you in one sense that he's kicked some goals, but he's done that role. But I still think he's got a bit more of a role to fulfil in the middle. 1 week he only had about a dozen possessions, but he kicked 4 goals, so he's still doing that job. But I need him to go in there and get enough of the footy. I need Cole to go in the ruck for a while and get enough of the footy so I can play Kieran Fulton and Jackie Broman down forward. But in saying that, the last time I saw Kieran Fulton play on this ground 3 times in a row, he destroyed him and won him a flag and smashed Werribee only because he killed him. So I can't afford to take him out of there either. So I need Ben Cole or one of the Coles to get up there and be competitive with Poodle so I can give him a spell. He doesn't go off the ground for mine, Fulton, today. Yep. When he has a rest, he goes forward. He's missed a few games. It was only a finger injury or whatever. He'll be right. He can run the game out.
Coming back to why my side's going to beat Grubby's side today, that's exactly why, because if Fulton stays deep, that gives us a chance for Poodle to really nullify or start getting on top around the ground, because I think he can't go with the physicality of maybe a Fulton, but if he's smart enough, Benny's obviously not as big as Fulton, so I think he'll get on top around the ground there. The longer they keep Fulton forward, don't get me wrong, it's a great option for him to have him, but if they can limit that entry, he's no good down there, is he?
Yeah. Just on that, Grubby, if Fulton goes forward, who's going to pick him up?
I don't
because
care.
They look like they're thin.
That's Bisso's job.
Yeah.
That's Bisso's job.
Crowley's got to go to him. He's the tallest option. Him or Boyle. They're the only two that can go to him.
Playing.
Hey?
If he was playing.
Who's that?
Crowley.
Crowley's
playing, yeah.
How do you know it's Crowley?
Because he told me. It's
when?
Crawley.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because he told me.
Okay. Crowley'd be good
just
for me.
Just like you told me it was Vasika, I'll take your word for it. But that's another one that I've got written down here with Crawley, right? Whoever's on Crawley, I want him to move and I want him to run, because I just reckon Crawley falls off blokes and sits behind. And when it goes over the top, he takes 8 or 9 marks and he gets a vote and he looks great. But when it doesn't work, they're in trouble. So you need to move him, run him around, because he won't run with you. So I don't know who I'll have on him down there yet, but that's what I'll be doing. I'll have Josh Cole sitting on Dalton Grundle.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
I'll have him picking his hair out of his ears and scratching his bum and doing everything I can to put Dalton off his game.
The ground ball, you won't want to be dragging a train there. Yeah, Spill is more likely the bloke I'll be putting.
Well, he's the other bloke I've got in reserve down there, but I want him to attack. Yeah. I want him to attack and not have a man. I've got Dan Measures as Adam Donahue. We've talked about that. Paddy Burke's been dangerous at times. Daniel Ladgrave will do the job on him without any troubles in the world, I reckon, today. You must tag Matt Tyquin, because I think he's the best player in the comp. I'm going to tag him with Willie Middleton. I can't afford to tag him with Lockie, because Lockie's a lot more valuable around the ground. So I'm going to tag him with Willie Middleton, and that'll be a hard tag, Wherever Matt Tyquin goes, Willie Middleton goes with him.
And I have a thought process that Willie would really enjoy that job.
Well, he loves playing that type of football.
I will be honest, I didn't need a shower after he played on me this year. I might as well have taken the soap out with me, give me a good touch-up. But he is quite a very good lockdown mid. I probably underestimated him a bit going into our game this year. And when he came to me after half-time, it was... felt like I was running with an extra 20-kilo parachute on me. He was, but he was with you every step of the way. He'd never let you get away. He'd never let you get any more than probably half a metre. And his pace is quite explosive, so he can shut down. I think that'd be a great match-up to see as well.
We've talked about Kieran Fulton, but a name that popped up and made Dale's eyebrows. Nathan, where are you going to play Dalton Grundle?
I think he's got to go through the middle, doesn't he? We talked about that physicality of Bannockburn as opposed to the spread of Inverleigh. You still got to you got to win that ball inside before you can spend it outside. You got to earn the money before you spend it. So I think you need Dalton in there to bash and crash for you and get that ball to the outside.
Dale, where would you like to see him? Because I know you're a big fan of his.
I know where I'd like to play him. He'd be my centre-half back if he was in my side.
Well, glad you're not coaching. No wonder you got the sack.
Yeah,
Played his worst 6 games he's ever played.
I've told his old man that years and years ago, and I'll continue to say it. He's one of the best close-down players I've ever seen in relation to these last 5 metres getting to a contest. It's good. He can run. He can carry. Obviously, his kicking's not great, but by the time he's got the ball to ground, picked it up, he's got 30 metres, he's going to kick it another 40 to 50, so he's got 80 metres for you from the half-back line. Now, out here, in the St Albans football ground, that extra ground that you make up is invaluable, especially when you're trying to get inside that 50. How many times have we seen, as Grubby said before, they get to this area here and they think, shit, we're still 2 kicks away from goal. Whereas normally you've got players coming up the ground and you're getting inside 50, and it's, as I said, both lines are usually touching on most grounds, so it's not an issue. But here, that extra bit, and we go back to the years when Closter used to play at East, he was the best example here, because the amount of ground that he could fill between the, say, 40 metres out from goal and the centre wing as that link player to get the ball down, unbelievable. And that's the type of play you need here, and that's why I say you've either got to have it at that end, or you've got to have the player that can come off that half-back line, carry, run and kick, and get that a little bit deeper into your forward line.
We just spoke about the hole left by Filet. Would you see Dalton as a player that could very well fill that intercept marking target and rebound tall back for you?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, any forward in the league he would beat.
Yep. I'd like to see him at centre half forward, because in 18 rounds of football, the centre half forward on our grounds don't matter much, but it matters a lot here. They're very, very important here. And if Meehan goes to full forward and Dalton at centre half forward, that's where you kick your goals.
That's what I'd like to see Buck go back and Casey play that extra 30 metres out from goal today.
Yeah. But the other bloke I was going to talk about, and he's very important when I talk about running and disposal, is Connor Jervis. I've seen Connor play a couple of times this year, and I don't think he's played that well. But this ground will suit him, right, as long as he kicks the ball to position. Too many times you see blokes run down the ground and just kick the hell out of it. See, I don't swear like you. They kick the hell out of it. But Connor Jervis has got to get the ball a lot. The ground will suit him, but he's got to deliver it properly. If he doesn't deliver it, the Inverleigh defence are going to go whoppo.
We talk about that 100-metre player, your 80 to 100-metre players when they run 20, have a bounce, they run another 20, and you're kicking 50 to 60. So Connor is that player for me. When I played with him, we can get that ball in his hands with a paddock in front of him, he really becomes that breakaway player for you. So if Bannockburn can get that ball out to him with space in hand,
yes,
he's going to be very hard to stop. So I'd like to see, we talk about tag and rolls, I'd like to see Inverleigh at least pay him some sort of respect and attention that he probably deserves, especially on a big ground like this.
Yeah, give him 20 minutes, because I don't reckon he's getting the ball enough. Now, if he's doing it today, you'll have your plan B to put it out there. But I don't know if I'd wasted too much time on it early.
Well, given his legs are good, the bloke I'd be playing out on him would be Toby Manganelli.
Yep, correct.
If he fires Toby Manganelli, he can kick you 5 goals.
Yep.
So I'd like him closer. I'll tell you who he's very, very similar to. Tristan Battaglia. Both of them on either side are going to get you some goals if they're on song. So,
my favourite is Casey Meehan. I think he's a genuine match winner. Where are you going to play him, Nathan? Is he your deep full forward, the go-to man?
Probably comes back to if Buck starts deep. What I'd like to see is trying to isolate them, not close enough, I suppose close enough to each other that they can both, one, be a marking target, two, Bucky gets around the feet, but Bucky's capable of leading out too. So I think you've got to read the game early. If you're not quite getting the deep entry that you're after, you play him up the ground. But in saying that, if you are getting entry and you're getting solid, clean entry, I'd play him deep.
Yeah,
he's probably that flip side of the coin to your Fulton.
I think I'm going to play one of the Bowdens on him.
Luke.
Yeah, but if he plays deep, you can play someone from over in the crowd on him, because if Inverleigh deliver the ball to him to his run, no matter who I play on him, he's going to go bang, bang and kick 6 goals. Because his lead is great. His hands haven't been so great since he's come back with a finger injury, but he'll be right. They're right now. His kicking's been a little bit worrying. He's kicked a few points. But as I say, if they deliver the ball well to him, no matter who I play on him, because he'll tear him to pieces, he knows where to run.
Right, we might go back to Station Steelo. Clear some sponsorship announcement. We'll be back here. Both sides out warming up. The umpires have just hit the middle of the ground. We're not far away, so we'll go back to you, Steelo. This is GDFL. No, this is Pulse Radio, your home of local football, Dale.
The Pulse Upshot Market on Market Street. Sale is on 1. Rebound and design our best future. Find out more at
1, 2. Hey, hey, hey.
The Pivotonian Cinema is open again.
Just 1, 2.
7 days a week.
Brought to you by Common Domain Hotel.
Welcome back to the Gordon Tafe Oval. It is the home ground of St Albans Football Club in the GFL. It is the home of the GDFNL finals, though. First one today, qualifying final, Inverleigh versus Bannockburn. We're all excited in the box. There's quite a lot of people around, cars all around the ground. You can't get a park within 500 metres of the place, so it's a popular venue. Our weather expert, Richard Grubby Cation, spying on those flags on the other side of the ground. What is that wind advantage?
Well, I don't know. They kicked a lot of goals at the other end in the seconds. And 1 minute you look up the flags and it's a 3-goal. 1 minute then you look back again and they've dropped and it's a 1-goal. So
either some aren't hanging the right way. I'm not too sure.
yeah,
but,
I'm not worried too much.
Toothy
about
might have
that.
put that one up.
What I am worried about is you got to. It's finals. You got to jazz. You can't sit here, Rob, and say we're excited in the box. It's we're excited in the box.
Oh, sorry, Grubby.
You know, people sit there and go, he's not excited.
I am excited. I'm genuinely excited.
Well, here's something to get excited about. The umpires for today's game are Will Ross, Jared Clark, and Chris McWaters, VFL umpires everywhere. We're going to have a great day with the umps.
Well, they have been very good all year. I keep saying that they've probably had a list not dissimilar to Aniki's or Carrillo's if you're talking about in football parlance. They have struggled for numbers, struggled for quality, but I think what they've served up based on that has been pretty good. Without getting yourself fined, Nathan, I know coaches get very angry when things don't go your way, but when you put that into consideration, expectations of your list.
Is that making comments online too, Rob? You're talking about?
Yes. How does that...
I'm giving it to you from a player's perspective here, Rob. But,
yes, you are.
Look, I think it's a great job what they do. I've got a lot of respect for the umpires. I know we're down on numbers, and I know that it's been a massive drop-off there, so we look after them the best we can. You know, it's not an easy job, and they are out to do the job, and I have no doubt they're just trying to do it the best of their ability, and we have to understand that we don't make it easy as players. So
You better have the follow-up question. What about the tribunal and their decisions?
I haven't been there for a long time, guys.
Are you in a relation to...
Come on, mate. You're going to make special comments.
It's in the
That's not a
bloodlines,
comment,
I
is
think,
it?
to be there.
What's going on?
Are you in a relation to Hans Christian Andersen? That was just pure fairy tale, that was. Pure fairy tale.
You wouldn't know I was related to Corey Bissett, would you then?
Dale Smith, you're the only neutral person here because these two are coaching. Who do you think will win?
I'm going to be a draw.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping it's a draw. What happens?
Footy's the real winner today, there.
Yeah, we
Rob.
do, don't we?
Yeah, another extra 5 minutes.
Well, he lost a pen.
Me lists. Who's got me lists?
Oh, Bisso's got
Bisso
it.
using them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a couple
We
down
should
here.
have got
What do
two.
you need?
Right, they're in the middle of the
You want them
ground. The umpire has the ball in his hand. The clock is about to tick. Dale Smith, former Geelong champion, 40-year ago premiership
No, it's
player.
all right. Keep it.
Take us underway.
Righto, we're about to start the final series here at St Albans, and we are looking forward to it, aren't we, Graham? Well, this is going to be a great start to the final
Roman's
series.
gone forward straight away.
So Siren umpires put the ball in the air, a bit wet in the middle, and that will be the only spot we will have mud for the day. Ball is in the air, ball comes down, picked up, Fulton got the handball away. Now there's a chop of the arm. Which way is it going? Got to go to Wilson. So Wilson gets the handball outside to Tyquin, and he goes quickly into their forward line. Ladgrave goes back, mark not taken by Meehan. Ball to the front of the pack, picked up there, goes towards the pocket. Grundle and also Bowden leading the race for the ball. Ball comes out towards Measures. Player sits over the top of the ball. They need to keep the ball moving. They're trying to. It's still poking around the top of the goals. Not coming out as yet. Now we have some ball in the goal square. Player is tackled, brought to ground. Umpire says it's coming back to me. So we're going to have a ball up to take place right at the full forward position. So some quick movement, as we spoke about before the game, was important for both sides, but Inverleigh especially got the ball down to their forward line. In the pocket it sits. Ball comes out now. I think that's Burke trying to back out backwards. Couldn't get out. Umpire says it's going to come back to him once more, and there's going to be another ball up to take place.
I told Kieran in the rooms before the game, be a bit rough with Poodle today. Be a bit rough with him.
So the ball's back in that front of the goal square. Again, umpire letting things go. And again, nothing happening with any free kicks at this stage, but I reckon there's one not too far away. So got to put your head over the ball, boys, and see what you can do. Fulton gets the ruck, comes down, picked up there. Grundle had a go, couldn't get clean air. Love picks up, goes round the body, and he's got the first goal of the afternoon. And that is a good start for him and for Inverleigh. One goal straight, and we have gone just over 1 minute. Coming to first quarter scoreboard.
They got first use of the ball from a free kick, which was, chop of the arms, but Fulton slipped in the mud and was a bit late to the contest. But again, Inverleigh, they just took it down, they kept it in there for long enough and were good enough to score the first one, Bisso.
You see how fast they spread from that contest too. The moment that free kick was called, blokes were on the move. Yeah, and that's what you got to do. So that handball outside to Tyquin and his great skills going forward. Casey Meehan probably unlucky not to get maybe a chop of the arms there as well.
Yeah, but even though he gets the ball a lot, Tyquin, I still think his biggest asset is a beautiful kick.
Yeah, he's
one that can kick it deep.
So Grubby's put Kieran Fulton in the middle. He's up against Wilson. Wilson wins that tap very easily. It comes to Middleton. He kicks the ball quickly into the forward line for Bannockburn. Very cleverly punched over the back of the pack there. Jai Robinson punches on again to Battaglia for Bannockburn. He's trying to win the ball out there in the half forward flank. It's come over the back inside to Gunchka. He gets it across to Robinson, can't pick it up. Players dive on the ball. Umpire's blown the whistle and he's given a free kick to Bannockburn. And it's to Middleton. Middleton hand passes across to Ramos. He kicks into the forward line, but it's a shocking kick. And Jared Young for Inverleigh comes out and marks very easily. Drop punch to the far side of the ground where he sees Love on his own. He gets it down, picks up the crumb himself. Drop punch into the forward line, looking for Dalton. He can't hold the mark, but he wins the rebound. Hand passes it back to no one in particular. Spiller grabs the ball for Bannockburn. He's dragged down, can't get it away. Packs on the players on the ball everywhere. Umpire comes in and we'll ball it up. 6 points on the scoreboard to Inverleigh, nothing to Bannockburn, and we're 2 minutes in to this, the Common Nafeen Hotel first quarter. Goes up again, Fulton and Wilson. Wilson gets it down to Love. That is a push in the back without any doubt. And the only goal kicker for the game so far will take the free kick on centre wing. Low drop punt into the forward line, poorly directed, and coming out to take a mark. On his hands and knees is Dan Measures, a quality player. Been well travelled around Geelong. It's a lovely kick out to the half back flank, and I think that's Jervis, is it?
Yep.
He kicks another drop punt down the line, looking for a teammate, punched away from him. Coming in is Will Middleton, desperate. Templeton grabs it for Inverleigh, kicks it very quickly forward. Ball over the back of the pack after a bit of a rebound. Players running on it. It's Dalton can't get away for it. Bannockburn's defence is solid. A quick kick back to centre wing. They can't win the ball out there. It's Broman who's got hold of it. He's tackled immediately. Ball's come out of the back again. Another player tackled immediately. This time we'll have a ball up far side of the ground. And it's Willie Middleton who's last up with the ball under his arm. Wilson and Fulton again. Wilson, a very clear drop punt into the forward line, trying to mark it there. Was Cole. He couldn't, but he's pushed his way through the pack. Coming out very quickly there for Inverleigh's Condi. Kicks it in the middle of the ground and does a neat pass, finds Muir. Muir's got a man on his own on centre wing. That's Gerard, a left foot pass from him. And Casey Meehan, a long way out from goal, immediately wheels around on the left foot, gets the true centre half forward, kicks long into the square. He's looking for Donoghue. Over the back of the pack, punched away. Paddy Burke picks it up and passes back in. It is Finn O'Keefe there. Left foot snap at goal, right across the face of goal, over the players' heads and out on the full. Far back pocket. Bannockburn have the ball. It's Clifton. Kicks it in to Battaglia, but over his head. Inverleigh have the ball again. Whack it back into a key forward spot, but missing the major sticks through the minors. First minor score is 1-1-7 Inverleigh with 5.5 minutes into the Common Nafeen Hotel first quarter.
So ball now back in the fullback position. They bring the ball clubroom side. That's St Albans here. Man in front. Meehan. Ball from behind is spoiled. Goes back towards goal. Picked up out there. Manganelli gave a quick hands away. Goes. And the kick is off line. Is that Luke Wilson, was it? Yep, on the left boot. The big poodle. And he is offline. So the free kick goes to Inverleigh right beside the behind post. They have done most of the attacking early in this game.
See, so Jared Young looks like he's got an on-ball roll, Nathan.
Yeah,
so
he has. He seems to go forward a bit too. Like even though he's on ball, he's still a very attacking player.
Short kick goes to Richie. Richie further afield finds Broman still inside defensive 50. Again, there's another short option, but he's going to go longer this time. Goes towards Battaglia, the smallest bloke on the field. Wilson's up, and that was always going to be his ball. And he has taken the mark. So Inverleigh will go back into attack. Short kick comes in again. Not the distance on the kick, and the mark has been taken there by Broman. Handballs off. Goes into Measures. Measures a little bit of time. Goes out wide. Kick has to be good. Wasn't quite there, but he's got support now. Picked up Middleton. Goes to Spiller. Spiller tried to get the handball away to Battaglia. Ends up back in his hands of Spiller. He comes out wide. Goes looking for Lock Battaglia. With him is Cations. Oh, he nearly held on to that. Ball hits the ground. Picked up there by Hutchison. Got plenty of time on the left boot. Looks up. Goes back towards the centre half forward position. Grundle got the ball to ground. Burke's in behind him. Picks the ball up. Went on the left boot and delivers the ball back inside 50. Donoghue in front. Spoil from behind. Ball comes back to the back pocket. Clifton Tyquin leads in the race for the ball. Picks it up, got the handball out the back, got support. He's going to get the 1-2 back over the top. Runs from the half-back line. Little short kick, wasn't good again. It's been picked up there. I think Whitley Middleton it was. It was tackled, brought to ground. Ball goes over the boundary. No, there's a free kick for incorrect disposal, it looks like. And it's called play on now, and I think that may have been Donahue that took the advantage, shoots at goal, but he is offline and through for another minor score. So Inverleigh now to 1-2. Bannockburn are yet to score.
Needed to kick that with confidence, I reckon.
Yep, so the ball now has been brought back into the field of play. And looks like Lukey Bowden out there has taken the mark inside defensive 50. So maybe just a little bit of possession footy now from Bannockburn. Short kick, dangerous. Burke again makes the contest. They have support there, picked up there by Jervis, went back outside. But the numbers with Inverleigh, and Hutchison picks the ball up. He looks to deliver the ball back towards me, and 1-on-2. Ball comes front of the contest, picked up. Handball was okay into the hands of Ritchie. Runs from the half-back line, looks up now, just delivers the ball long. Tyquin leads in the race for the ball, and he has taken the mark. Read that nicely. Has taken the mark. Got a short option if he wants to use him, but he's going to go to a longer one back towards that centre half forward position. Ball spoiled again, comes to ground, and player sits over the top of the ball. It's not coming out. Not too sure there's any prior opportunity there. Umpire agrees.
No, good decision.
And there's going to be a ball up at the centre half forward position.
Donahue, after you've been bettered both times by Measures, and early in the game a bloke kicks it straight down Measures' throat. You don't want that.
No.
So the ball from the contest, picked up there by Locke Middleton, goes over the top. Ritchie just puts boot to ball and takes it back towards the middle of the ground. Coming through, I think that was... That was young Osborne there. He couldn't get clean possession. Ball's won by Inverleigh. It runs back, and Broman's going to pick ball up, put his head over the contest, and he's going to try and win it on the hands and knees now. Tries to force his way through the contest, come out. Don't know whether that was correct disposal. Ball's going back to Inverleigh's way. It was kicked forward, and the mark has been taken out there, Ladgrove. So they're just settling up a little now. Kunska's made the lead, goes in that direction. Young read that nicely. I thought it was going to come straight between his legs then. Oh, he had his head down. How can that be... a free kick if he's trying to force his way through. But anyway, umpire lets it, goes back into the goal square they go. From behind, ball out the back. Grundle picks it up, and he kicks the second goal for Inverleigh. And that will move them now to 2-2. They are 14. Bannockburn are yet to score. We've gone 9.5 minutes. Coming to feed first quarter scoreboard.
It's been all Inverleigh, and I just reckon when the ball hits the deck up there, they look a bit quicker. Who's 18? Number 18.
For
Bannockburn.
Circuit.
There's no 18.
Was it 19?
19.
Harding.
Yeah, well, was that BJ?
BJ.
Because Casey Meehan ran around him like he wasn't even there before, and I think they've got a bit more pace on the forward line.
We're back in the middle. Wilson and Fulton are going to go at it again, as they have done each time before. Fulton gets most of that one, gets it down, but Jared Love picks the crumb up. Hand passes across Grosdanovsky, forced a hand pass. Coming through very strongly for Inverleigh there. Can't get it through. Muir's tackled, lost the ball. Players are desperate on it. There's a push there that wasn't rewarded. That's a tackle there to Circuit. He kicks it quickly. But Jai Robinson has sat back behind the play for Bannockburn, and he takes an easy mark. Kicks it out wide, and Ettridge marks the ball for Bannockburn. Kicks back in, and Will Middleton marks. He hand passes it back to Clifton, who is a beautiful kicker of the football. He's popped it up into very good position for his team. The umpire's found a free kick, and it's going to Bannockburn.
There we go.
Osborne.
Suggesting that Osborne was held in that pack. He's only a little fellow in stature. Indications his direct opponent must have infringed.
I've got a question for you, Smitty. Who's Osborne?
Osborne?
I've never heard of him.
He played in one of the games earlier this year.
He must have played very well that day. I can't remember him.
I think he played in the last time they played in that game at Inverleigh on Anzac Day, I reckon.
Well, he played in the second time they played, but now he's 40 metres out on a slide angle.
Come back!
And he's kicked it beautifully right through the middle. First goal for the Tigers for the afternoon. They're 1 goal 6. Inverleigh 2-2-14. And we have gone around about 9 minutes into the Common Defina Hotel first quarter.
I put Osborne there on purpose.
Bye-bye Ronnie Pilgrim in Grubbycations.
11.5 minutes into the first quarter.
I'll present something to you, Grubby, here. We've had 7 inside 50s for Inverleigh, 2 to Bannockburn, but Bannockburn are obviously running at 50% now. Now, I know it's still early, but they've just got to find a way to get the entry. You know, if they can get more entry and keep it at a high efficiency, they'll kick goals all day.
Or Inverleigh have got to increase their efficiency as they go in.
Correct. You can't be blazing kicking points from 40 or 50. You got the best ball users in the comp.
The only way to beat Wilson is jump early, can stop his jump. Ball from Wilson again comes out and goes towards Hutchison, picks the ball up. Handball only went as far as Middleton, went outside to Jervis. Jervis, a little quick kick, goes back towards the boundary line. The ball is running towards Measures, takes out Gerard, or not takes him out, but shoulders him out of the ball. Picked up now by Connor Jervis. He goes back inside 50, coming out. Battaglia tried to trap the ball, can do so now, looks sideways, has Broman. Will he continue on? No, he's got Kunska short if he wants to use him. Now he decides to take on Muir, got the handball away, went towards Kunska, needs to pick it up cleanly, did so. Sold a bit of candy, went back towards goal, and he has finished it off nicely. His first goal of the afternoon, and now the second for Bannockburn. They are 2 straight goals. They trail Inverleigh on 2 goals too. We have 13 minutes. First quarter, Commonwealth Hotel.
I like this kid, Bissau, this Kunchka. I like him. You've seen him firsthand.
I have. I think he only might have played against us once, but he's always constantly on the move. And it's a hard person to play on when they're constantly on the move. When they stand still, you can get a little bit of a feel for them, what their plans are, and it sort of gives you a breather. But a bloke that's constantly on the move is hard to play on.
Especially he's got a bit of size about him too. Ronnie Pilgrim absolutely reckons he might be a chance in the mix for Rookie of the Year.
There you go.
So 14 plays 12, 13 and a half minutes into the Common Nafeen Hotel first quarter, and we're back where we started. Wilson and Fulton. Wilson again has won it, kicked off in the mid-air by Jai Robinson. It's grabbed by Cole from Bannockburn, but he's not going anywhere. The umpire agrees that was all done legal, fair, and we'll have the ball up. Not far from where we started in the centre square just a little moment ago. So it goes up Fulton again. Wilson gets it, but gets it straight to Bannockburn. There's been a free kick, and it will go to Willie Ritchie from Bannockburn. He kicks the ball low into the forward line, looking for Battaglia. Comes over the back of the pack. Cations can't hold the mark. He's got another crack at it. He's dragged off the ball and will be given a free kick, as he deserved. And Billy Cations for Inverleigh has the ball just inside the centre square, back end for their team. He's looking for some option. He's got a couple of wide. Dalton Grundle's wide on his own, and that's where he's going to head eventually, when no other options were forthcoming. Grundle not quite at centre wing.
Grolton, is he?
He goes around, hand passes across to Robertson. He kicks low into the forward line very blindly. Coming out is Clifton for Bannockburn. He gets it across to Billy Ritchie. He kicks long down the line. Players waiting underneath. Country does a very good job. Gets it down to Ramos. Ramos kicks forward. Battaglia's waiting underneath it.
No one wanted that.
He's going to finish up winning the ball on the first bounce, because, as Nathan correctly pointed, 3 players just watched it bounce. And the umpire will come in and ball it up.
So one of those high kicks in the RLs.
Yeah. Between the centre square and the 50-metre arc here at the very long St Albans ground. Wilson again gets it over the top to Grundle. He's tackled, tries to hand pass it out. Can't. Players desperately diving on top of it. No one's going anywhere again. The umpire's forced to ball up. We're still in exactly the same spot. About 60 metres, out from Bannockburn's goal. They're trailing by 2 points.
Grundle in the middle doing the grunt work on the inside, like I said earlier.
Yeah, very much so. Coming out there is Cole. He gets it down, but quick kick forward for Inverleigh. Waiting underneath it there is Tyquin resting in the forward line. Clever little hand pass out the back, and Measures kicks down the line and finds Clifton on the centre wing. Marks under a degree of pressure, but Bannockburn have got the ball now. He kicks back into the middle of the ground. Kieran Fulton standing on his own in the centre. Quick hand pass to Spiller. Spiller goes wider still to Measures. He's having a bit of trouble picking it up. He's tackled now, gets it back to Spiller. He comes inside to Ladgrove, hand pass across. The umpire's found a free kick. It's going to Cole, I think, for Bannockburn. That would be Ben Cole. He's got the free kick just on their defensive side of the centre.
This is Joshy.
No, it's actually... you're right, there is a number 18 out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're right again, Hawkeye. We'll find out who that is later. Measures kicks back into the middle looking for Country. He can't hold the ball. Ritchie trying to burst his way through. Did have prior opportunity. He's been dispossessed. Teammate picks it up. I can't see. Ball bobbles out the back. Inverleigh now got it through Burke. He slaps it on the foot. Kicks it into open spaces. Tyquin's on his own in the forward line, but he's got 4 Bannockburn players to contend with before help gets on the horizon. That help is Donahue. He arrives to lay a tackle. Holds the ball in.
done well there, 4-on-1, and just to hold it inside the 50, wait for numbers to get back, he's nullified that quite well.
He certainly has. The umpire has blown a whistle. He's holding the ball up. Yes, we're going to have a ball up. He's asking that silly little question, who's going up, boys? Number 18, which I think is a Cole, has got it. It is Josh Cole. Ball over the back of the pack. A left foot snap by Burke. Misses, one behind only. 2-3-15 Inverleigh, Bannockburn, 2 straight goals, 17.5 minutes. Common Nafeen Hotel, first quarter.
Burke kicks that in the middle of the air, doesn't he?
Yep.
You seem to kick him against Belmont.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ball comes out from Measures, kicks down the line and finds another Rudd jumper there. I reckon that was number 25 who's not playing. This is Harding, who is number 19. Worn it with pride for many years for the Tigers. He kicks down the line. Ben Cole at the ball punched away from him. We'll have a boundary throw on true centre wing right at the interchange gates at the St Albans Gordon Tafe Oval, GDFL football finals.
Casey Meehan back on the oval now, Rob. He's going to give him a target at centre half forward. It's probably what they've lacked in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Fulton's going to contest this on his own as a short throw in. Young gets it, hand passes straight up in the air, tackled immediately there. It's Crawley has got the ball. He can't get away from the pack. The umpire said, you had it long enough, son. And that free kick is going to go to Jack Brome. And the co-coach of the Bannockburn team,
he's going to reverse it.
Billy Ritchie is going to
yes, he has
give away a free kick.
You've got to keep your cool.
Come on, Billy, that's
Jared
not
Young
on, mate.
by the throat and drag him out of the road trying to get the footy.
Cost your team an inside 50 there.
And, yep, that was a scoring opportunity. He's now going to go back the other way. So Jared Young has it for Inverleigh. He's on centre wing end. Now he'll be looking for an option forward. He's gone a short pass looking for me, and Burke's at the front of the pack. Comes over the pack to Crawley. Crawley gets it across to Finn O'Keefe. He kicks long across the body. It's going to fade to the left. One behind only. 2-4-16. Bannockburn 2 straight goals.
You've got Buck leading out 1-on-1 there. Lower the eyes and hit Buck. You've got a chance at 1-on-1 and a clean efficiency shot on goal. Instead, you blaze and kick a point.
Yes, got the better of him, I think, that situation. Ball in the hands now of Ladgrove. And he is wearing a 25 instead of 21, but I just did it off the old record. So he goes short. Dangerous kick. Has to be get there. Didn't quite get there. Was some good work. Picked up there by Donahue. Goes back towards goal. I tell you what, he's going to finish off okay.
That's
yes, he
what
has.
He needed.
And he has got his first of the afternoon and the third now for Inverleigh. They move to 3-4. Bannockburn are on 2 straight goals. And we are ticking towards 20 minutes. Common Nafeen Hotel, first quarter scoreboard.
So you're a real coach. If I'm coaching Bannockburn today, normally what I would do when I played is I'd have the runner out. I'd have Billy Ritchie sitting on the pine straight away. But it affects, you know better than I. It
affects your structure there, Grubby. I think it's one of those things. It's finals footy. There's a little bit of heat in the air. Like you said, these two have got a great rivalry. What I'd like to see is him make it up to you now. Yeah. I'd send the runner out instead of dragging him to the pines. Listen here, you owe us one now. Get me an inside 50. Get me 2 inside 50s to make up for the one you lost us.
Fair enough.
Back the middle we go. This time it's Wilson back over the top once again. Picked up in there by Circuit. Goes into the forward line. Mark is not taken there. Goes through towards me. Grozdanowski taps the ball over his head. First back is Spiller. Picks the ball up. Got the handball. Or got a kick away. I actually went back and kicked the point for the opposition side.
Who's that going to? Does that go to Spiller or Rushed?
Yeah, we'll give it to Spiller. But anyway, that's probably a good decision. A little bit longer and more. It could have been a dangerous proposition.
Yeah.
But now back in the full back position. Again, Dan Measures doing some kicking in once again. Looks to come club room side. Goes looking towards Cole. Cole was up. Was hitting the contest there. Picked up there by Young. Goes back inside, and that's a great kick. Good use. Mark has been taken inside by Finn O'Keefe, and he can go back and shoot towards goal.
Let's lower the eyes, Nathan.
Anyone think I know what I'm talking about, Grubby, eh?
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things. You're on the biggest ground, probably arguably in Geelong. Now, why wouldn't you want the cleanest efficiency shots on goal there? The more you blaze, the more you're going to kick points. Ball gets rebounded. I think you just need to lower those eyes, hit your one-on-ones, especially when, like I said, you've got Buck down there now. We spoke about that pre-game. He's going to give you that one-on-one target. I'd want to make sure I give him every chance to get one back on Dan Measures there.
So Finn O'Keefe is going to come in and kicking from about 35 to 40 metres out. And we sit right behind where the ball will travel. Kicks that goal. Looks pretty good off the boot.
Distance.
And distance, is it there? touched on the line. Maybe he must have been further out than I thought. Must have been on 50. So through for a minor score. Bannockburn now moved to Inverleigh to 3-6. Bannockburn 2 straight goals. Quick kick in goes to Richie. Goes looking for Fulton. Can't take the mark. Goes back towards Richie. Picks the ball up. Tries to get out of trouble, got the handball away. Support arrives, picked up out there. Tackle's made, ball comes out in the tackle. Does it say it?
Ball up.
Umpire says going to be a ball up. So they've worked pretty nicely there, Inverleigh, to keep that ball in their forward line. Thrown up once again by the umpire. Fulton gets the ball down. Again, handball comes out, goes towards centre wing. Cole had it, got rid of it pretty quickly. Picked up by Young. He again tackled. Had wing-correct disposal. I'm not too sure even he had full possession of it.
Prior.
Yeah, so the ball moved quickly back inside and Spiller has taken the mark. Spiller now decides to play on and he's looking to go towards Harding in front, behind Muir. Ball hits the ground, picked up there by Gerard, got the handball back towards Muir. Tried to step inside, tackled. Ball turns over now, goes into the hands of Richie. Outside has Broman in space by himself. He wants to move the ball quickly, can go back inside to Jervis if he wants to. Decides to go longer. Looks towards Osborne. Ball out the back. Oh, actually, it was well marked there by Condi. Condi goes across the ground. The mark will be taken on the far side. So they just settle things down now. Brown it was. Got the handball outdoors. And coming through was Templeton. Templeton now runs, delivers towards centre wing. Nice kick up. Mark wasn't taken out there. Cut through his hands. Love's there to support, though. Got the ball. And that's a nice kick going forward. Manganelli presents. He's got Robertson outside by himself. He's got space behind. He can go over the top now to Donahue if he wants to. Does so. Slow through the air, but will get there. And Donahue takes the mark. So he can go back and he'll shoot for goal. Should not even look at anything else but in this situation now. Go back, deliver for the side, kick his second.
And Measures had to commit himself to Robinson then, and so Buck got a nice easy one, but hey, it don't matter how they come.
Take them as they come, Grubby, I can tell you that.
So Donahue now will shoot from, I think this time maybe about 30 to 35 metres out. And generally, he is a good kicker of the football towards goal. That has not deviated 1 inch. He has got his second of the afternoon. And the fourth now for Inverleigh. They move to 4-6. Bannockburn on 2 straight goals. 24 minutes gone. Commonwealth Hotel, first quarter scoreboard.
I'm a bit worried about their number of shots for goal against Bannockburn.
Got it right here, Grubby. That's Inverleigh have had 12 entries now for their score. So, as we said earlier, you can have all the entry in the world, but if you don't put the score on the board, it means nothing.
10 shots to 2. And if the wind is going to do what we think it's going to do, it's probably not quite enough.
No.
They need another goal, I think.
So we're 24 and a half minutes, so the time to do that is short. In the middle again, it's still Fulton and it's still Wilson. They've gone at it every time. Wilson's up high, didn't really get effective, but loves the one first there for Inverleigh. Kicks it forward, coming out is Circuit and Burke. Wobbles over the back of the pack. Clifton's trying to pick it up, getting pressured from O'Keefe. No one's going anywhere with that, I don't think. The umpire has penalised Clifton, sorry. And it's Inverleigh now have the ball, kick it forward over the top of Donahue's head, but Manganelli's there, roving beautifully. He's in the spot of bother, tries to break away.
No right foot there.
Yeah, the umpire said he was tackled long enough. He got a hand pass away eventually, but too long. It looks like Dan Measures will take the free kick for Bannockburn. No, it's not. It was Ladgrove. He kicked it straight up in the air looking for Fulton. Punched away from him. He tries to get the crumb. Was pushed in the back and will take a free kick. So the big ruckman, part-time forward, has this stage lowered his colours to Wilson, but he's a very determined man. He will continue on. That kick out to centre wing has beaten everyone, will go out of bounds. Right beside the scoreboard, which shows Inverleigh 4-6-30, Bannockburn 2 straight goals, just hitting 26 minutes into the Common Nafeen Hotel first quarter. Waiting for a throw in now. It's Cole this time and Wilson. Cole sort of gets hands to it. Coming through there, try and pick up the ball is Robertson for Inverleigh. He can't break through. Coming through is Middleton. He can't break through either. Crawley picks the ball up, gets it to Wilson. Wilson kicks down the line. Jared Young marks right underneath the scoreboard. Far side of the ground, Inverleigh in attack. Coming up towards the 27-minute mark. Young kicks towards true centre half forward. Dalton Grundle making position. Couldn't. Over the back of the pack. Bannockburn have numbers. Inverleigh arriving on the scene. Lay a tackle. They're screaming for holding the pill. The umpire's not having anything to do with that. We'll have a ball up. I reckon it's about 20 metres out, almost directly in front of Inverleigh's goal. Grubby said they need one. This is a very good chance. Cole gets a hand to it. Quick kick crossed the goal there. I reckon that was Burke. It's one behind only. Takes them to 4-7-31. Bannockburn 2 straight goals. We've gone 27 minutes now.
Grubby, a very nervous start from both sides, but I think it looks like to me Inverleigh are the side that's settling a little bit quicker.
They do have the advantage of the wind, though, so that might take that advantage away just a touch.
So Bowden for Bannockburn. He gets the ball to Jervis. It's in front of the Inverleigh coaches box here at St Albans. Jervis kicks long down the line. As the siren for quarter time goes, we see Inverleigh 4 goals, 7-31. Bannockburn 2 straight goals. That was a 27.5 minute mark first quarter. Goal kickers Dale Smith.
Yes, for the Inverleigh side, 2 to Donoghue, 1 to Love and 1 to Grundle. And for the Bannockburn side, 1 to Kunchka and 1 to Osborne. So it is, as I said, 4-7 Inverleigh, 2 straight goals to Bannockburn. Going to take a short break, come back, go through all the first quarter action here. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
Mrs. earns more money than him anyway.
The second quarter, brought to you by Buckwheat's Entertainment Centre.
Well, Grubby thought pre-match I wasn't excited enough, but it's quarter time and I'm excited now. Inverleigh 4-7 kicking with the win. Bannockburn 2 goals. We'll get a crack at it this time. This is classic finals footy between two sides that don't like each other much. Nathan Bissett, you're coaching Inverleigh. Are you happy with your first quarter?
I'll say yes and no, Rob, in a sense that we probably had, I'm going to say 70% to 75% of the play. 14 forward entries for 4-7. I don't think that's high efficiency there. So I'd probably say they just need to lower those eyes, hit those one-on-ones. You got Bucky down there, which is what we predicted early in the piece, and he's kicked 2 early goals now. So I think if they can really lower those eyes, hit Buck one-on-one, he'll kick a lot more for the day. Only 4 forward entries there for Banno. However, 2 goals from it. So you're running at 50%. That says to me that they need more forward entry. They need to find a way, whether it's pushing the centre half forward up the ground, give them another option there. I think they need to find more avenues to get that ball inside 50.
So Grubby feverishly taking notes over there. Your team is
He's in crayon there, Rob.
19 points behind at quarter time. Are you happy, though, with the win coming up now?
Yeah, I'll take 19 because of the amount of time that the opposition had in the forward line. I just think if they kick straight and they use their abilities, they should have been more in front. So my blokes this time, don't forget defence, because you don't want to kick a couple of early goals against it. Otherwise, your confidence just dies. So get the ball in. You got to leave Cole in the ruck, but not for too long. They need to kick some goals with the win. Fulton. Get Cole in there and just spoil him, and get Fulton down there and kick 6 this quarter and go into half-time a couple of goals there.
You're trailing, Grubby, you're trailing.
You've inspired me, Grubby. Summed it up beautifully. In the Ballerine, Torquay 45, Barwon Heads 25. The Battle of the Catholics, St Mary's have got a big start, 5 goals in front. And South Barwon a 7-9, Colac 4-5 in a GFL game that started at 1 o'clock. So it'll probably be 3/4 time or nearly there, I'd imagine. So there's a bit of a surprise with local footy. But here, GDFL qualifying final, 31 plays 12. Dale Smith, the umpire, has the ball in hand. Get this second quarter underway with Kieran Fulton still in the ruck against Wilson.
Yes, it's not what I would have done, but I'm not coaching.
Well, you were one day, but you got sacked.
Yeah, that's it. We've been down that path before.
I'm with you, Well. Don't worry, we're on the same boat here, mate.
Ball is in the air this time. Wilson, the game, got hand on ball, comes down. It was tried to be cleared away. It's picked up there. Robinson's hands over the top of the ball. Middleton's also trying to take it out of his hand. Robinson working pretty hard. Again, umpire needs to get in quickly. Stop this because it's not going to come out, and reset it, and that's what they'll do. Might have been Billy Ritchie, the other one, was it? No, it wasn't. No, it was Jai Robinson. So Middleton's in there, and Lockie Middleton's also in there. Maybe they put Billy Ritchie forward. Ball from that contest comes out, goes back towards centre wing. Can't be picked up cleanly. Handball comes out, and again now it runs free. Picked up there by Lopataglia. He goes back into their forward line. Muir, nicely positioned, takes the mark in front of Kunchka. And Dean Muir now just to settle things down for the Inverleigh in defence. Looks to transfer play, goes sideways, kicks okay. Player out there in space, looks like Brown.
Billy Ritchie's in the forward pocket, as you suggested, Dale.
So ball now is going to be kicked along the boundary line. Okay, Cations makes a move, and that is rewarded with a good kick. So he's still just on the forward 50 line. Now goes back towards centre wing. Mark not taken. Ball gets through the contest, picked up out there by Young, got the handball away. He's going to get it back towards Grundle. Grundle went over the top, back towards O'Keefe. He ran out the ball. He ran past the ball, actually. Picked up there by Fulton, got the handball away and delivered by Spiller. Long and back into the forward line. Kunchka out the back, doesn't take the mark. Ball hits the ground. Support arrives. He's a lot of support there from Inverleigh. Picked up there by Al, it was. Got the handball away, went towards Love. Runs away, delivers the ball, goes towards Manganelli. Read the flight of the ball. Needs to trap it, does so. Can go back on the left foot now. Got tagged or just got the kick away in time. Ball went back towards Measures, and he's got support back there because Spiller's arrived to lend support. He hits the ground. Needs to keep his feet there. Donahue over the top. Umpire circling, but says no prior opportunity there. It's going to be a ball up.
Nearly a kick to Spiller then, Nathan?
Look, I thought he might have had a bit of prior there. He went to ground and had the opportunity to tap it on. I think Buck was a bit stiff.
So ball thrown up this time. Cole doing the ruck work. Ball comes out the back, runs towards goal. Donahue quickly to the boot. Unfortunately, he is offline and through for a minor score. 2-2 to that player. Inverleigh now on 4-8. Bannockburn on 2 straight goals. And Dan Measures back there doing some kicking in once again for the Bannockburn side. So Fulton coming club room side. Josh Cole is also this side, but he's seen something he likes down the middle of the ground. Actually, he's just changed his mind, I think. Went towards Spiller, out the back, picked up there by Meehan. Meehan goes towards Burke. Burke got the handball over the top. Middleton intercepts, knocked the ball back towards the boundary line, picked up there by Jervis. On the right boot, swivels it around, goes back along the boundary line.
That's a great
and
kick,
Mark has
Connor.
been taken out there by Broman. So Broman now settles things down for Bannockburn. Not too far from where we sit here in the coach's box. Goes deeper over the top, going towards Fulton. Ball gets out the back and over the boundary line. Going to have a throw in, and it will be thrown in on centre wing.
I got a question for you, Smithy. Since when's this been a coach's box?
Well, we're all giving our opinion, so it's got to be.
We're never wrong in here, are we?
No, that's exactly right. We can make as many decisions we like.
Commentary box.
The ball is now at ground level, picked up. Middleton tried to work it out of the contest. He can't do so. Over the top, we have a number of players, and the umpire will come in and take possession.
I've got to
once
get
again.
in here. You're going soon.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be listening on the way to the thingo too. I'll be making a phone call. Ball, you better tell me the scores too, by the way. Ball is sent down, picked up there. Hands by Fulton over the top. Gee, I'm not too sure he was brought to ground in the right sense there, but umpire says it's okay. Big fella gets up on his knees and will contest the ruck once again. This time he's got front position, taps the ball forward, goes as far as Love. Good handball away into the hands of Templeton. Back around the boundary line, over the top. Bowden can't take the mark, went back and collected it on the left boot, puts it back towards centre wing. The only one went for the ball then was Templeton, and he has taken the mark. So Templeton now can steady things down for Inverleigh. Looks to go back into the middle of the ground. Kick had to be good. He's found Middleton in the middle of two players there, so that wasn't well directed. He plays on, chips over the top, goes towards Ladgrove. Mark not taken again. Ball comes to ground, coming through Bowden. Actually, a lot of players I don't know whether they're all slipping in the middle or they just didn't want to run at the ball, but a lot of people standing back having a look. And it's just going to be set up now for a ball up to take place inside that centre square.
Fulton's come to the bench after that heavy knock before in front of the coach's box, or the commentary box, sorry.
Look at that. Club rooms. Yeah, no, he had his arm up and got collected pretty heavily.
Boy. So tough boy, big
ball
breather, and he'll get out.
Comes down. Picked up there, Middleton over the top, picked up out there again by Burke. Not too sure that was a right way to do it.
I think it was a bit late, and the
hip and
umpire's
shoulder.
going to
Was a bit late, but the ball is going to be transferred now to the ground now towards Manganelli. Has Circuit in space by himself, comes back at the ball, takes the mark. Steadies things down now, looks back inside. Wilson's his target, kick's not good again. Middleton comes through. He can't take the ball cleanly, goes back to Circuit. Ran into his teammate in Meehan, but he kicks round the body and then sitting in the hole as Mark is taken out there by Robertson. Robertson goes towards centre wing. Said Osmond a bit of a task. Ball gets out the back. Love is there. Picks the ball up on the right hand. He goes back towards Byell. Byell's tackled. Ball come out the back. Went towards Condi. Condi got the handball away. Crawley, he got the handball back. Went back towards his teammate Condi and over the top. A short chip and we'll find Wilson. So Wilson now looks here sideways out there by himself. Gerard still inside the centre. In the middle 50 goes short. I don't know whether that was deducted to him. Finley O'Keefe I'm talking about. But he's
give him the benefit of the doubt,
because it would have hit Donahue on the chest anyway, even if he had missed him. So Donahue's looking for the little one out the back now. And Finley O'Keefe was in range because he is a good kick of the football.
That was great composure there by Inverleigh. They were probably outnumbered at the contest here out on centre wing. But just with a little bit of good decision-making, able to hit Poodle in the middle there and turn and go fat side, they were able to get a shot on goal.
Condi was the one who was superb.
Yep.
So Finn O'Keefe, he's not that confident because he's looking for someone to give the ball to. So now he's decided he's going to go short and kick straight into Spiller standing on the
bloody mark.
Spiller goes back and collects it. He's taken high.
I haven't called it.
You've got to be kidding.
Oh. Might have missed that first very high tackle there.
Might have missed it. I saw it from, we all saw it from here.
Donahue's offering him services again to help Wilson out there.
He's not a terrible kick at goal, Luke. I'd like to see him go back and really put this through.
Whoa!
Wish he had him. Hold the ball.
There's a comic of errors here, guys.
Well, that's probably a leveller, I would think.
Someone going to commentate here or what?
Yeah, sorry, Robinson's got the ball and he kicks it out to centre wing to Connor Jervis. I was taken by the excitement out there, Grubby. So Jervis runs around the mark. He's looking for his coach, kicks long. Crawley punches it away, but he's given away the free kick to Broman for over the shoulder in that contest. And Broman will come back to that point and looking for a forward option. He's looking for a kick in the corner to Fulton. He can't mark the ball. Coming over the back of the pack is Temple and kicks in the middle of the ground to Circuit. He can't get it. Broman grabs it, hand passes, but Young is the recipient for Inverleigh. He breaks away, has time to take a bounce, the veteran. Hand passes out to Burke. Burke kicks down the line, and Casey Meehan has taken a mark a long way out. He's on centre wing. Drew Dan measures out, looking for an option. So Meehan now, low drop punt and heading for Dalton Grundle. He can't control the ball over the boundary line. Nearly 8 minutes gone, only 1 point added this quarter. That's gone to Inverleigh. They're 32, Bannockburn 12. And Inverleigh in attack now, kicking against. Better than a slight breeze. It's probably a 2 or 3 goal win by the look of the flags. Cole for Bannockburn taps it out into the path of Billy Middleton. He can't control it, and it goes out of bounds again, and we'll have another throw in. So Kieran Fulton's dropped down into the forward line now.
Done well here to drag measures up to the contest, taking him outside of that 50.
And Ben, Cole and Wilson now. Wilson gets it across to Circuit. Circuit to Love, who quickly kicks forward into a dangerous spot. Burke can't hold the ball. Donahue trying to get it. Spiller in there for Bannockburn. Burke butters up well. It's a good hand pass to Circuit. Can't grab it first. Quick kick from him, though, coming through his measures. Does a very good job. Gets it across to teammate there. Kicks forward. Punched away from Osborne. Comes to Muir. He's tackled. Releases a hand pass. The umpire said he threw it. That's play on to advantage. And Battaglia in the Tristan variety kicks forward, and Fulton on his own in the forward 50 for Bannockburn. Had an opponent in Crawley, by Al, but he kicks long, and that is a wide kick which has gone out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, but it went
wasted
60
opportunity
metres.
there. He kicked it a
Why
long
wouldn't you
way.
go back and just, if you can kick the ball that far?
Yeah, played on, missed an opportunity. Coming out now in the back pocket is Templeton. Kicks it neatly down. Love, who's been very, very busy for the Hawks this afternoon already. He's racked up quite a few numbers. And the left foot midfielder with the unusual kicking action gets it down to half-back flank looking for Tyquin or Wilson. Punched away from both. Jai Robinson evades a tackle. Hand passes to Willie Ritchie. He kicks it into the forward line. It's a poor kick. And Brown for Inverleigh marks at centre half-back. He kicks and finds Tyquin, who made position just a little bit further down the ground. Still in the corridor. And Tyquin now heads out to centre wing where Grozdanovski's made space. He can't hold the mark, but he's got a bit of space on Clifton. Still can't control the ball. Got it now. Hand passes back to Brown. Brown across to Condi, and that is a poor kick from Condi. Battaglia intercepts. Hand passes it back to Ettridge for Bannockburn. They head a bit wider. Connor Jervis has got it now. Neat little pass from him. Finds Kunchka coming out. Half forward flank, Bannockburn in attack. They're 20 points behind. He kicks to true centre half forward looking for Fulton, but taking a very strong mark. In defence is Matt Tyquin, who's hadn't had much of the ball, and he seems to be getting the ball behind rather than in the packs. An unusual type of game from him.
I'll tell you why in a minute.
So Tyquin now kicks out to centre wing looking for a teammate, punched away from him. Battaglia comes in. Hand pass to teammate, tackled. He gets the ball back to Ettridge. Ettridge into the middle of the ground to Love for Inverleigh. Intercepts. He kicks back looking for Meehan. Meehan gets away from his opponent in Cole. Kicks it out into the path of Manganelli. He wins the ball. He's got a little bit of space. He runs around. It's a wobbly looking kick forward. He's only kicked it towards Bannockburn players. Ramos is the one there. He can't trap the ball. Oof. Finn O'Keefe gets it. He lays two tackles. He's done a very, very good job, O'Keefe.
That's a great
Deserved
job.
A free kick, Nelly.
That's a great job.
It was a 2-on-1. He tackled both of them.
Now be careful. Don't give away a stupid free kick here.
To retain possession of the ball, but that is a big win for Inverleigh.
2-on-1. Able to get the ball up. It gives you another shot on goal.
So we're going to have some important information from Grubby in a moment. Coming over the back of the pack is Casey Meehan.
Casey, you beauty.
He stayed on the ground in that boundary throw-in. He nominated himself as a ruckman. Bannockburn went up, missed it, landed in his arms, quick snap for goal. Nathan Bissett, that's one sort of against the flow a bit.
It is a little bit. Bannockburn have had a lot of the play going forward here. They just struggle scoring at the moment. It's like they don't have a target there. I think they lack one target. When Fulton comes up the ground, they lack the next one.
Well, that's what I didn't want to happen. But the hardest thing to tag a bloke is to tag him for all day wherever he runs. What Willie Middleton's doing, a little bit like Chris Gillam used to do with Ricky O'Toole. You don't tag him too hard down the back line. So you'll get some easy kicks. But when he comes up here, centre forward, he's going to be right on him. And I think Tyquin will go forward soon and get out of that centre bounce.
Yeah, he's at full forward now.
He's gone, has he? Oh, there. I thought they might try that.
So we're back in the middle this time. Ball is tapped down there by Cole, I think it was. Picked up in the middle. Now there's a free kick being given. Hold.
It's gone the other way.
It's going Bannockburn's way. It's back in the middle of the ground. No, it's going Inverleigh's way. Well, where's the advantage if you're going to do that?
The same bloke had it, didn't he?
Yep. Yeah.
So Love with the ball goes quickly into their forward line. Tyquin comes out. Mark not taken. Ball comes to ground. Manganelli's going to run onto it on the right boot. Can go long back towards goal. Will it have the right bounce? It's running. Bounces. And it is seen through for a minor score to Inverleigh, which will move them now to 5-9. And Bannockburn to remain on 2 straight goals. We've gone 13 minutes. Second quarter, Cornerfan Hotel. Second quarter scoreboard.
A bit confusion there with the interchange gates. There was an interchange in between the 2 sets of gates, so that was slightly illegal. Hope no one was watching. Ball on the half-back flank now. It's a very strong mark for Inverleigh, and it's taken by Circuit, I reckon. He's had a little bit of the ball. No, I think it's Robertson. Robertson kicks into true centre forward coming out. Can't take the mark is me, and Dalton Grundle gets the crumb. Kicked off the ground by Burke into open spaces. Bannockburn's Luke Bowden is going to get back there first. Long hand pass from him into the pocket looking for Clifton. It's gone past him. He's fallen over at the crucial time. Robertson gets it for Inverleigh. Kicks back into a hot spot, but Connor Jervis takes a mark in the last line for Bannockburn. He kicks it across to Ritchie. A low drop punt for Ritchie looking for Harding. Punched away by Templeton. Wilson gets it. A low pass from Wilson, and he finds Circuit on the lead. Just inside the 50-metre arc. He's too far out to score against this breeze, and it'll be outside his capabilities anyway. Templeton runs outside him. He kicks it into the hot spot. Coming over the back of the pack, punched away. Measures gets the crumb. He kicks it back into the middle of the ground, and Alex Brown for Inverleigh takes a mark. They just can't get out at this stage, Bannockburn. Crawley now has it. He went to play on. The umpire said that was okay.
Well, he's got Young out here. Go there if you want.
Crawley kicks long into the pocket. Grundle comes out. That is a magnificent mark under great pressure. He was the last one to arrive at the contest, and sure set of hands pull down a very strong mark. He's a bit tighter than 45 degrees, and he'll kick from almost 50. Has he got a foot this good, Grubby?
Well, I wanted him in the forward line, and I think he'll kick this.
Grubby, we spoke about this earlier. We'll let him have a kick.
So Grundle now, he's going to kick from 48. It's landed in front of the goal. Be a pack of players up. Bannockburn have got most. They punch it clear through for one behind. That's 5-10-40. Bannockburn 2 straight goals.
They had Young out here, but like we said earlier, Grubby, you can find yourself getting further away from goal.
Yeah.
That kick would have put him further away from goal. Yes, you're kicking wider and forward, but it's still further away from goal.
Exactly what we spoke about. What scoreboard are we on?
We are on the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter scoreboard. Clifton kicks across goal to his coach, Broman. He kicks down the middle of the line using his body well is Crawley. Can't take the... the umpire pinged him.
No, you cannot do that.
The umpire's pinged him, and Lockie Middleton will take a very lucky free kick for
crying out loud.
Crawley actually ran back, almost took the mark, but he certainly created the contest that they needed. That Brown's come in and laid a very important tackle. Inverleigh trying to win the ball, can't get out, but they've got it out now through Paddy Burke. He runs and kicks into the arc. Coming out is Tyquin. He can't take the mark. Brilliant hand pass by Tyquin to Manganelli. Left foot snap. Just away to the left. One behind only. That's 5-11-41. Bannockburn 2 straight goals, 16 and a half minutes. Buckley's Entertainment second quarter.
Something's got to happen here.
So it's Ladgrove now. He's going to do the kicking and go short. Will he okay? Mark taken out there by Robertson. Further afield he's got to go, and he will go towards Ettridge out wide. Made some space in there now. He's just waiting for some options. Looks back inside. Kick towards Osborne. Kick went out the back. Ball now into the hands of Wilson. Wilson now looks to go short. That was okay because it went straight through the hands of Robinson. Love's there to support. He goes back and collects it on the left boot. Goes quickly back into the forward line. Mark, he's not taken. Ball comes to ground. Picked up Spiller. Tries to keep the ball and head back towards the boundary line. Clifton's going to arrive. Also with him there was Hutchison. Goes back towards O'Keefe. Ramos is there. Again, Finn O'Keefe did nicely tackle, put himself back into the contest under pressure, and he was gone that time. And a good free kick will go to Ramos. So Ramos now far side of the ground. Looking at his options again, it comes across the
Dangerous.
ground. Had to go to
Dangerous.
Robertson. Was dangerous. You're right there because the ball's going to end up in the hands of Robertson. He goes up towards the boundary, looking out there towards Grozdanowski. Can't pick the ball up. Does so now. He's tackled. Ball comes out in the tackle. Picked up out there, and again it's going to be held up. Umpire will come in and he will settle things right on the point of the centre square.
That was great play by Young. He knew that he's lost that little yard of pace
Absolutely.
and couldn't get the footy.
Just had to get a fist in on it,
He
didn't
just made sure that the other bloke didn't get it. He's done a great job.
So the ball thrown up now again by the umpire. Front position by Cole. Goes towards Ritchie. Can't take it out of the contest cleanly. Manganelli with a little bit of pace on the right boot. This time heads back towards goal. And this time doesn't have the distance. And it will be marked there by Luke Bowden. Bowden now will come back to where the ball came from. Looks to go towards short over the top. Read that nicely was Broman. And he was taking the mark. So Broman now
He's got nothing.
got some options across the ground. Goes in that direction. Coming up is Ladgrove. And again, he goes short. Kick had to be good. Ramos didn't take the mark. So now he's put himself under a little bit of pressure. There's a 4-on-1 situation out there. The umpire was just about to blow the whistle
He
then.
should have blown it
Picked
too.
up
It
there
was
by
hold the
Measures.
man.
Ball comes back towards centre wing. Ball gets out the back. Robinson will lead in the race for the ball. Picked up Middleton. Got the handball outside towards Pataglia. He can't take it cleanly. Grundle did. Ran himself over the boundary line, which is probably a good thing there. And the ball will be thrown back in.
That's another outnumbered win for Inverleigh.
Yeah.
Another outnumbered win.
You blokes would have to be both disappointed in the field kicking of your players today. I reckon
Well,
it's
that
been
was our
poor.
main point before the game, and
Absolutely.
it hasn't been good.
So ruck contest, go at it. Comes out the back. Wilson got it. Tried to get the handball away. Kicked off the ground there. Well, that was okay by Broman into the hands of Osborne. So Osborne now looks to go quickly into the forward line. Has a player by himself. Mark from the spoil from behind was from Condi. Went back, collected it. Handball back over his head. Goes back towards Brown. A little bit of pressure. Got the handball away. And again, a little bit of time and space. Crowley. His kick wasn't great. And the mark is going to be taken by Middleton. So Middleton, this is Locke Middleton. He's going to deliver the ball into the forward line. Goes towards the leading player in Fulton. Went over his head. Again, umpire, I thought that was a whistle then, but must have been over at the netball again. Ball goes out towards centre wing. Clifton Leeds is there, or Clifton was there, and there was an Inverleigh player infringed with, and he will win the free kick. And it's going to be, is it Love or Robertson? Might be Love, I think.
Yep.
So Jared Love now, a little short kick along the boundary line. He's okay. Mark taken out there. They go further along the boundary line, so possession football. O'Keefe. And he is just forward of their centre wing position. He's going to go further along the boundary line. Out in front, ball is taken away from Tyquin by Spiller.
Spiller's doing a great job there on Tyquin, isn't he?
He is. He looks very nervous
Yep.
when it comes in, but he's doing his job.
Any man that stands on Tyquin is a nervous man.
Yeah,
but I
up
think
there.
Hayden's really found a way to match him here and nullify his entry or nullify his forward impact.
So ball comes back into play. The umpire didn't like that. We're going to have a second boundary throw in.
That's thrown us a bit, though. We're all talking about Broman. Do we send him forward or not? And Inverleigh have sent Tyquin forward.
So throw in now. Cole gets most of that with Meehan. Quick kick by Will Middleton back into the forward line for Bannockburn. Templeton does a very good job for Inverleigh. The umpire says nothing. That was a netball whistle again. And this time he's pinged Inverleigh holding the pill, and it will be Lockie Middleton, who's been very busy again today in the midfield. Gets the ball, kicks it to true centre half forward. Pack up. Balls comes over the back. Inverleigh have numbers there. And it's their ruckman, Luke Wilson, who's done a really good job today. He's made his presence felt right across the ground. Gets it to Jared Young. Quick left foot kick from him. Punched away from his teammate there over the boundary line on the far side of the ground. A ball up. Scoreboard showing 41-12, 21 and a half minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter.
We probably put the pressure on Young early in our pre-match, but he's doing pretty well. He's had a pretty good game.
So
He has
for
indeed.
an old boy. That's six inside 50s for Bannockburn now with no score.
So the ball back into the play, picked up out there. Brown got the handball away, went back towards Wilson. He taps it further afield. Again, now the ball is in dispute. There's a lot of hard bodies under there. Broman wins it out, just pushes the ball forward with a good handball. Again, Young puts his head over the contest, got the handball away. That was okay. Didn't travel too far, but it has now gone over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw in right on the forward 50, far side of the ground.
And also, we won't take anything away from the Inverleigh defence. It's not just poor football. Inverleigh defence is standing up really, really well.
So the ball thrown back in again, this time by the umpire Long. Cole gets the ball down, coming through, picked up, handball goes from Ritchie, goes towards Middleton. Middleton goes into the forward line, kick was indirected, and the mark has been taken down there. Billy Cations it is. So he will go across the face of goal. Mark will be taken in the back pocket. Crawley just settles things down. Goes further afield, little short kick. Cations has made ground further afield and takes the mark once again. So he's got some shorter options, he's got some longer options. Decide to go to that longer option. Mark not taken by Burke. Burke was up over the top. He set up there for a little while. Ball at ground level now, and the circuit it is trying to get the ball out of that contest. Spiller had hold of it, and it wasn't coming out. So the umpire is now about to restart play with the ball up. So we push the ball into the air. Again, Wilson, that tap down was pretty good. Goes back towards the boundary line. Still in the field of play. And I can't see who's got it on that screen. Doesn't matter, the ball goes back and it's kicked forward by Brown this time, and the mark is going to be taken out there by Ladgrove. So Ladgrove moves the ball quickly, goes in the forward, or sorry, just short of the forward 50. Picked up by Lockpitagular, handballs over to Ritchie. Ritchie loads up, goes long towards goal, and standing back by himself is Conti. Read that nicely off the boot, and he has taken a relieving mark.
Don't get me mixed up. That was Tristan, wasn't it?
Lockpitagular took the mark and gave it inside.
Number 10.
Yep, that's Lockie.
Okay.
Yep. So the ball comes back outside now. This time Robertson's up in the air. Mark is not taken. There's a free kick being given for a hole. Which way's it going? It's going Inverleigh's way. And it looks like Tyken will be the recipient. So he's going to chip the ball short.
He's got busy this quarter, Nathan.
Come up the ground. He come up the ground once. I think once Spiller had his influence on him there, he had to come up the ground to get his kicks. Now they're throwing Will to him. So they're paying him a lot of attention here.
So the ball now in the hands of Gerard, and he delivers the ball, comes back towards the centre wing. Grundle comes up, can't take the mark. Ball runs back over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw-in to take place. As so, we tick over 24 minutes in this second quarter. It is Inverleigh 5-11. Bannockburn on 2 straight goals.
He'll be spewing Middleton because he's been doing pretty well while Tyken was up here.
He has, actually.
You know, a bit freedom.
So we've got a throw-in now. Wilson and Cole. Wilson gets most of it down towards Circuit. He's tackled. No, it's not Circuit. He's hovering above. Might be Robertson underneath all that. No, it's Finn O'Keefe. So it's thrown up again. Wilson and Cole. Not really any beneficial tap there. Comes out to the back of the pack. Broman's got it. He's tackled immediately. No, going nowhere. Quickly around the ground, Torquay have skipped to a 4-goal lead over Barwon Heads. South Barwon look like upsetting Colac. They're 30 points up late in that game in the GFL. Ruck tap out to Wilson. Broman gets it, hand passes it forward. Ladgrove hovering over. Gerard kicks it. It's smothered immediately, out of bounds.
Touched.
We'll have a secondary throw-in. And the other game, the St Mary's Catholics are now being attacked by the St Joseph's Catholics, and they're only a couple of goals behind in that dead rubber type game. This will be the last 2 games in the GFL season as well.
Crucifixion there today.
So we're back in the middle. Wilson taps it forward to Tyquin. He gets a very good hand pass to Gerard, who got a high tackle. That's missed. Tyquin picked up a crumb. His kick smothered. That kick is picked up by Connor Jervey. He runs from a long way out, but it's a beautiful kick, an important kick. And Connor Jervis has kicked a vital goal for Bannockburn. Their 3rd shot at goal for the afternoon. All of them have been successful, but Inverleigh holding advantage at 5-11-41, 3 straight 18. And we are 27 minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter.
That's what I said before the game with Connor Jervis. You have to get it. He has to do a bit more than that to get him back in the game, but that's what you want to see. Beautiful football, magnificent goal.
Hopefully that's enough to spur him on now and kick on, because I think he struggled to get into the game early. So hopefully that's all that sometimes a player needs, just that little bit of influence, that little bit of goal there, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more of that from Connor.
Well, I don't think Rusty will catch him either.
So back in the middle we go. This time Wilson over the top. Ball comes out in the front of the contest. Again, they're both sides working pretty hard to win the ball out of there. Picked up by Robinson. He's got one hand held. He's got the other ball in his hand. Can't get rid of it anyway. Umpire back to throw it up once again. So thrown up very quickly. Wilson just takes it out of the ruck contest. Did that very nicely. They tried and force their way. I think it was Circuit that tried to get through the contest. He's tackled and brought to ground. We're going to have a repeat of a ball up pretty much still in the middle of the ground. So thrown up once again. It's time Cole gets the ball down, picked up Robertson, needs to boot the ball, slipped it as he tried to do so.
Gone this
second
time.
he was.
He won't get away with it
They
twice.
persisted there, and they worked pretty hard. Circuit laid that second tackle. As the siren sounds to end the half-time now, and it'll be 5-11 to Inverleigh. They lead Bannockburn on 3 straight goals. Goal kickers for the game, Donahue with 2, 1 each to Love, Meehan and Grundle. And for the Bannockburn side, Kunchka, Jervis and Osborne are the goal kickers. Take a short break, come back with all the second half action here. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
If you're an adult who has difficulties with
The third quarter, brought to you by De Grandy's Sports and Cycle.
Better get back.
We're at the Gordon Tafe Oval. It's GDFL Finals football qualifying final. Inverleigh 5-11-41 at half-time. Bannockburn 3 straight goals. We're about to get into the third quarter. It's the De Grandy Sport and Cycle third quarter. Ball thrown up. Wilson and Cole. Wilson cleverly gets it over the back of the pack, but there was no one there waiting. Jared Young said the ball ripped out of his hands by Billy Ritchie for Bannockburn. He gets the ball, kicks it low into the forward line, but taking a relieving mark under great pressure is Jacob Templeton for Inverleigh. Low drop punt out onto the half-back flank, and Jared Young is awaiting, takes the mark on his chest, and he turns the corner and finds Finn O'Keefe on his own true centre wing, far side of the ground. O'Keefe now plays on, kicks into centre half forward, waiting under the pack is Meehan. He takes a mark at 2 grabs, wheels around quickly on the left foot, into the forward line. Donahue can't hold the mark as he comes out. Should have really held it. Circuit gets it for Inverleigh. He's tackled head on there. The umpire said that was okay. Quick hand pass comes out to Casey Meehan. He has a shot for goal and hits the left stick. That's their 12th behind for the afternoon. 5-12-42. We're 1 minute into the De Grandy's third quarter. Kick down the line out of the kick in from fullback. Battaglia kicks to Fulton. His arms were chopped, the umpire says. He'll take a free kick right in front of the opposition coach's box here at St Albans. So Kieran Fulton, we're waiting him to have more of an influence on the game. Kicks down the line, pack of players. The ball is punched forward, but it's going to be forced over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in now. Only 1 point added to the score so far for the quarter. That's to Inverleigh. They now lead by a neat 4 goals. 24 points in front. Thrown in. The umpire has found a free kick, and it's going to go to Wilson for Inverleigh. Picks the ball up, plays on immediately, kicks low into the forward line. Coming up, taking a great relieving mark is Hayden Spiller, who's played very, very well this afternoon for Bannockburn. He gets it to Clifton. A neat little kick from him into the forward back pocket to Bowden. He hand passes back to Clifton. Long kick down the line, punched away from Ladgrove. And Daniel Measures picks up the ball, but the boundary line arrives, forces him over the line. We'll have a throw in on the far side of the ground. Boys, have you noticed any positional changes of note at this stage?
No.
No would be the short answer to that. So, boundary throw in again. Wilson at the front, gets it down, and it's O'Keefe, I think, who's grabbed. No, it's Jared Love who's grabbed without the ball, and he'll take a free kick for Inverleigh. Gets around on that left foot, unusual kicking style into the pocket. Measures, punches it away from Donahue. Boundary line is looming. Donahue gets it, hand pass that he's over his head, keeps the ball alive. It comes around to Paddy Burke. His left foot is a goal, and a very important one to start this third quarter for Inverleigh. They're 6th for the afternoon. 6-12-48 now. And Bannockburn 3 straight goals, and that is definitely not what you wanted as Bannockburn coach, Grubby.
Nope. No, well, actually, I made a couple of positional changes. I put Tyquin in the middle again, and I put... What?
I'd say that's my job.
Oh, I've got Inverleigh, haven't I?
Oh, yeah, swap at half time.
They're in a bit of trouble, Bisso.
Look, they are. Look, Inverleigh, very early in the piece, 3 minutes in, they've had 3 forward entries, 1.1 goals. So you're looking at 66.6% of efficiency there, scoring efficiency. Unfortunately, last quarter there in the second, Bannockburn had 9 forward entries for 1 scoring shot.
Yeah, they've sort of fallen away in there. They just can't get a decent hold of the ball, and although I reckon the field kicking by both sides is not good, Inverleigh have managed to get enough into the right place at the right time. So we're back in the middle now. It's Wilson and Cole. Cole got that one, but he hit it to Wilson, and Wilson tapped it further forward. The umpire has blown the whistle. There's a push in the back, and it will go to Bannockburn.
Well, where's the advantage?
Another umpire has played advantage. No, he hasn't. We're coming back to the middle. It's Tyquin, who might have been squaring up a bit with Billy Middleton then. He had him underneath him for a long time.
Gee, you've got to pay the advantage, don't you?
You would have thought so.
They haven't paid one all day, have they, really?
We're back in the middle.
Back every time.
Will Middleton. He kicks across and finds Billy Ritchie. We're still inside the centre square. Ritchie now kicks outside looking for and finding Fulton, half-forward flank. Quick hand pass in to Tristan Battaglia. He kicks down, coming out is Crawley. He can't take the mark. It's Circuit who quickly kicks it forward for Inverleigh, and Paddy Burke, who's been a pretty good player all afternoon, kicked the last goal. He's kicked down the line looking for Manganelli. The ball might beat him. No, he's kept it in delightfully. The lovely little left footer kicks into the pocket looking for and finding Casey Meehan.
I got a funny feeling the second one went over the line.
I think you're dead right, and the umpire has called that. And Casey Meehan has said, yes, boundary throw in it is. Right in front of the Inverleigh coach's box, and Grubby, you are correct. That was the right decision. There's a bit of uneasiness from Inverleigh, but I reckon if they had to look at it again, they'd agree.
Yeah.
Decision.
Already this quarter, 3 intercept marks inside 50s.
Yeah, so ball's thrown in. So Cole lays it down, gets it across to Jervy, but his hand pass is intercepted. It comes back to Love. He's underneath the pack, can't get it out. The umpire circling will say, ball up. So half forward flank, we're probably just on the 50-metre, a bit short of the 50-metre arc actually on this very, very big St Albans ground. So throw up now, Wilson gets it down, but coming through is Billy Ritchie. Hand passes out, Jared Young gets it for Inverleigh, does a circuit or two. Hand passes, Ritchie gets it back, cross to Broman, he kicks into the middle of the ground. Cations grabs it, hand passes quickly to Burke. Burke kicks to Donahue, and I think that's a downfield. And Adam Donahue, the Inverleigh coach, man on the mark is probably at 48 metres. Donahue's kicking from about a 45-degree angle. The wind at his back, there's no doubt that he will kick the distance. One of the features of his game is his beautiful kicking, which was not dissimilar to his father.
Good captain's goal here coming, I'd like to think.
So Donahue now, he'll kick from about 50. That's a beautiful drop punt. It's long. It's just off the hands of the pack. Punched and hits the boundary post, the point post. And there'll be a throw in the forward pocket right beside point post. Bannockburn defenders would hate this sort of situation. Grubby, you're an old back pocket player. You hate these, don't you? Boundary throw-ins right beside the goal post.
Oh, yeah, they're very dangerous. You've got to be on your mettle. I run into Scruncher in there. He reckons the game's over at half-time, Scruncher, from East Geelong. He's awaiting Inverleigh already, he reckons.
Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, the ball comes out of the back of the pack. Tyquin's trying to get a handle on it. He does eventually hand passes across to Crawley. There's a couple of bodies went in there. Templeton picks the ball up. His kick is smothered. Lands into a hot spot in the forward line. Players going everywhere. Umpire's whistle has gone. Bannockburn will get a free kick. A player was held
Ladgrove
by
there.
The jumper. Ladgrove, I think it is. Yep. And he will take a free kick for Bannockburn. Very slow to get it. No, it's Daniel Measures. He's slow to get up, but Ladgrove has got the ball. He gets it across to Spiller. Spiller, long hand pass into the back pocket for Clifton. Clifton's lovely little drop punt down the line in front of Ben Cole. Punched away from him by Luke Wilson. And the two ruckmen now will have a secondary go at a boundary throw-in.
They're just off their game. That Clifton kick earlier in the year would have landed on Cole's chest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful kick normally. Anyway, Cole and Wilson. Robertson runs onto the ball. He can't get a handle on it at this stage. Players desperately going for it. Jared Love gets a hand pass across to Crawley. He dodges round. Hand passes into space. Bannockburn grabbed it. Jared Young has grabbed whoever's got it, and the umpire says we'll have a ball up.
Yep.
So it's Connor Jervis underneath all that. Jared Young hot on his heels. And we'll have another Cole v Wilson ruck contest centre wing. Fulton's been pushed forward, and Byell is on him down in the forward line. Crawley uses his body very well. That's a clever little job. He got Broman out of the road. Got a hand pass across to Jared Love. Love's got it forward. Circuit's going to be first hit it. He's trying to get a handle on it. Does so now. Can't get it out of the pack though. Players desperately falling all over it. And surely will have a ball up. Slightly Inverleigh side of the centre. They lead by a neat 30 points. And we are 9 minutes into the De Grande Sport and Cycle third quarter here at the St Albans Oval. Jared Love gets one high. Hand pass across to Grozdanovsky. Hits it into the danger spot. Donahue can't hold the mark, but he's going to be first
to run towards the crumb. Burke's there with assistance. He gets hold of the ball, breaks away from his opponent, has a long shot at goal.
That's a great goal.
Kicked another one.
That's a great goal.
Paddy Burke, that's his third for the afternoon, I reckon. We haven't got Dale's book here, but I'm sure he had one at half time, and he's kicked another one this quarter already. So Burke come down, he's there somewhere. I'm sure it's his... No, he's kicked 2 points, so he's now got 2 goals too. So they go to 7-12-54. Bannockburn 3 goals, 18 with 10 minutes into the third quarter. Grubby, not good signs.
No, it's not. 4 goals, 6 goals up. It's. I just said after half time, well, give me 10 minutes before we call this off, because if Inverleigh get a couple, they're in trouble, and they are in trouble. Up goes the ball now. Wilson in ruck against Cole. Wilson gets a big tap out, but it can't get picked up by anyone. In the end, Tyquin gets a foot to the ball, and it goes out towards the half-forward flank. Good tackle by everyone. Is that Crawley down there? No, it's Love. He puts it up towards the centre forward, full forward position. Measures, gets back on it, reads the bounce pretty well, and he gets a nice little pass out in towards the back pocket, but it's deep in the territory again. I think it's Robinson. He's come across the middle here.
Clifton.
And he's looking at...
That's Ladgrove.
Looking at Daniel Ladgrove. Ladgrove, he puts it over now to Ramos. Ramos hasn't had a lot to do today, Ramos, but he drives the ball long up towards the wing position. Billy Cations tries to put in a little tackle there, but it's kicked out by Osborne. Comes up towards Broman underneath it and takes a great mark. He has been good, Jack. He's just trying to give his all here for the Bannockburn Football Club. Another great mark. He's going to put it out here to Cole. Cole now. He sees Kunchka up there, but he hasn't gone to him. Yes, he has now, but it's not a good kick. He goes towards the boundary line. Kunchka can't get it. Brown takes it in front of him, gets it out towards Wilson. Wilson to Tyquin. Ball smothered. Still live here, but Brown butters up beautifully. Puts it over to Dean Muir. Muir now puts it up. He's 2-on-1 here. Crawley's got a lot to do, and he does it pretty well. Out it comes now. Picked up there by Ladgrove again. Ladgrove to Broman. Broman puts it in towards the centre or full forward position. It's picked up by Cole. And Cole's got Bannockburn back on the board. Beautiful football. Oh, what a great game this can be if Bannockburn can continue to do this. The scoreboard's gone. And so I don't know what the score is at the moment. It will come back very, very shortly. And I can tell you, it will be on the what? The Grandy,
It'll be on the DeGrandy.
It will be on the DeGrandy scoreboard. It'll be 7-12-54 to 4 straight 24, Bisso.
Bannockburn forced the long kick there, and it was forced to the 2-on-1. And that's what helped them out there. They forced a long kick to the 2-on-1. They were able to go inside and forward and deep. So if they can keep that pressure on deep and keep forcing those turnovers, they'll get themselves more shots on goal.
Need a couple as Wilson. Another big tap out. He's killing them in the ruck now, Wilson. Out they come. I think that was Circuit. Puts it over to work. Back to Wilson. He's rucking. He's roving. He's doing it all. But out comes... Is that Dan Measures? He didn't turn around.
That's Clifton.
It is Clifton. That should be a good kick there, but it's not.
Youngie.
He doesn't do that very often. And Jared Young has dropped in. He's played a good roll around the ground today. And he snuck into the forward line. Intercepted a kick from Clifton. He doesn't normally kick them like that. And Young, he's going to line up. Probably only 25, 30 metres out, directly in front, with the wind behind him.
We spoke about this before the game, didn't we? The decision-making and execution, they come hand in hand. You can't have good decision-making with poor execution and have the best execution with poor decision-making.
That's right, and I'll tell you what, he's put it pretty close. The umpire has walked across, though, so he's kicked a point there, Young. 7-13-55, 4 straight 24 on the DeGrandy cycle scoreboard.
Well done, Grubby. Cations. Dale Smith has left it to go off and celebrate a premiership. Clifton, who we've been speaking about, is kicking that one out looking for Hayden Spiller, and he finds him marked under a little bit of pressure on the half-back flank. So Bannockburn trying to mount something now. 31 points in arrears with 13.5 minutes into the quarter. Spiller kicks down the line, punched away by Byal over the boundary line, and we'll have a boundary throw in right on the centre wing here. The flag's a little bit limper than they were earlier, so we might have a breeze-free last quarter, and that's the quarter that Bannockburn will be wanting to get some assistance to try and bridge this gap. So Wilson again. Wilson gets it across to O'Keefe in a general direction, but it beats him over the boundary line. Willie Middleton right beside him. He's a tenacious little fella. He's been there antagonising a few this afternoon, making life difficult for Inverleigh, as he always does.
Very good at what he does.
And his brother Lockie has just been a bit below his best today, has some of his teammates. Cole wins that one for Bannockburn, gets it down in the path of Jai Robinson. He overruns it. O'Keefe picks up, does a very good job, evades a tackle, slaps it onto his left foot, down to the direction of Hutchison. The umpire says he's infringed, and looks like Connor Jerbies, I think, for Bannockburn will take the free kick. Underneath the scoreboard here at St Albans, Jerbies kicks long, but it's a nest of Inverleigh players that he's kicked it to. I'm not quite sure who he's aiming at. There was no one there from Bannockburn to aim at. And Tyquin has taken the mark. Long kick, true centre half forward. Ladgrove can't quite. No, it was Bowden. Jared Young gets it, a left foot kick.
Down the ground.
That will be downfield, and Toby Manganelli will be the recipient. And it's those sorts of things about the rivalry you talked about pre-match, Grubby. Not necessary, that one.
I'd like to look at it again.
I didn't think there was much in it.
Well, no, but if it is late, fair enough. But sometimes when you go to tackle a bloke or push him off his kick, you can't stop yourself. And it was really tight. I'll go with the umpire. We'll look at the video tonight, but we'll go with the umpire. Just a touch late.
So it's Manganelli. He will be just a little off directly in front. He'll only have to kick it 30 metres.
We spoke about this at halftime, didn't we, Grubby? Toby Manganelli's probably had about 4 to 5 snaps on goal for no registered score yet. Yeah. So this is a chance for him to get himself into the game and hopefully get himself on the ball.
Leaves his foot very nicely. The umpire loves it. His teammates love it, and that is a very important goal. Kicks him out to 37 points in front now. Huge, huge margin in the context of the game that Bannockburn have only kicked 4 goals. They've got to kick twice that many to be in front, Nathan. Huge job.
Yeah, that is. It's hard to come back when, I suppose, it hurts, doesn't it? Because it's a downfield. It shouldn't have happened. It's gone to a 50-50 ball. Chance of a rebound, Grubby. Instead, it's a free goal.
It is. But I just wonder, you've got to try and stop him from kicking in the goal. And if it was a legitimate attempt, if you don't, they say, hey, why didn't you tackle him? So
we went the bump over the smother.
Yeah.
So Fulton is back in the ruck. He wins the tap out, tries to pick up the crumb. Can't get it away. Finn O'Keefe's got hold of the ball. 2 have got hold of him, going nowhere. We'll have a secondary ball up, still inside. The only little bit of mud on the ground, right in the centre circle on the cricket wicket. Wilson gets up high, gets it down to Grundle. He can't break away, picks up a crumb, hand passes it back to Wilson. Coming out, doing a very good job there for Bannockburn is Ladgrove. The umpire said he's had that too long. Gets across to Manganelli. He kicks into the hot spot. Bodies coming out everywhere. Tyquin up high. Tyquin couldn't mark the ball. Clifton's tackled. Disposes of the ball in a funny sort of way. Umpire said it's all well and good. A couple of players jump on top of it. Ball up 25 metres out, directly in front. Inverleigh's goal, already leading by 37 points. Spiller and Donoghue, the unusual ruckman there, comes out the back to Tyquin. Wobbly little left foot kick into a hot spot. Picking it up is Gerard. He's tackled. Hand pass it. O'Keefe's grabbed it. Lowers his head. The umpire has called it high. And that's one of those where the knees wobble, the head drops, and he's forced a high tackle. And he will have a shot for goal. 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. And this one, this one takes a lot of sting out of the contest.
Just careless, Grubby, isn't it? When the game's on the line, you need to start kicking some goals. You can't be giving away easy free kicks like that. Yeah. If that player's gone low to pick up the ball, you need to get even lower to tackle him.
Well, like Ginnivan and Selwood, they've had a go at Selwood for years, but you've got to make sure you don't tackle high, and he did.
So Finn O'Keefe, he's taking his time about this. He realises the importance of this. This will really take some wind out of the sails of Bannockburn if he can put this one through. Very deliberately comes in. Let's go. It's long and it's very, very straight. And he's a very, very happy boy. His teammates are surrounding him now. That's their 9th for the afternoon. 9-13. 67 careering away from Bannockburn. 4 goals straight. And that is about 15 minutes into the De Grande Sport and Cycle third quarter.
Come on, Bisso, you're getting paid big money here.
Say something, Nathan.
With Grubby and I in here, I'm surprised you can get a word in, Rob.
No, I'm just resting my vocals. Grubby, you feel like calling a bit of the action, or would you like me to?
Well, I was going to call a bit, but I thought someone might do a bit of special commentary in the middle. But
he's gone quiet.
Back in the centre. Up they go. Fulton back in the ruck now. Wins the tap. No one can pick it up. It is picked up now by Lockie Middleton. He roosts it long into the forward line. There's Hawks everywhere here. Can't mark the ball was Muir. Picked up by Condi. Condi gets a foot boot into it and puts it out towards the half-back.
Look
flank.
out.
Oh, he was sitting under it, O'Keefe, but he gets away with it anyway. We'll get those binoculars up as the ball travels towards the boundary line, but it's picked up beautifully there. Puts it in towards the half-forward flank. That's Wilson again, is it? He's everywhere. He puts it up towards Donahue.
Hang on. Ooh.
But the ball goes through for a one behind. 9-14, 68 to 4 straight. Bannockburn grab the ball straight away and clear it out towards Jack Broman. Broman now, he's got a bloke on his own up here, and it's Cole. He's got to get to him quickly, and he does so. Cole wheels around onto the right boot. Puts it up right in front of our commentary box. Robinson sitting there. He has a look further afield. He needs a couple of leads because he's still on the wing position. No one's. Well, they've all given him leads, but the Inverleigh defence has been fantastic. They go with him. So he just kicks it long. Crawley gets a little push, but the umpire said that was okay. Cole taps it to Battaglia. Battaglia belts it off the ground. Again, it hits the deck. They all go in on top of it, and umpire's going to say, give it to me, boys. And we'll ball it up right on the 50-metre line. Half-forward flank for Bannockburn. They need one here, Bannockburn.
Desperate for
They
one.
need one to get themselves back into the game.
Just sway that momentum.
Yeah, up they go now. Big Wilson, he's winning everything, Wilson. He taps it down, but it's beautifully sharked there by Lockie Middleton. Ball smothered by Brown beautifully. Almost a great one-hand pick up to Manganelli. Comes out to Brown. Brown puts it over to Long, but his kick's very, very poor. And Fulton standing in the way at centre half back. Sees a lead out there to Spiller out in the wing position and gets it to him nicely. Can't pick it up now. He does, Spiller. Oh, he puts the afterburners on. He's almost caught. Trip. He's either caught, tripped, and I think the umpire will pay a trip, and that's a good decision from the umpire. And Spiller will take the kick, but he was a little bit lucky. That's a nice little pass out there. And that is...
Is that Cole?
That's one of the... No. Well, comes back to Clifton anyway. Clifton now. Puts it in towards...
Centering ball.
And a good one, too, to Ramos. He goes out the big Fulton. Fulton's on his own now. Sees a lead up forward by Cole, and he takes a good mark. Against the wind, he might have to find someone else. He's going to look for Battaglia. It's a skyscraper. Great pass. And it makes it easy for Taekwon to come over the top. Not a good kick, and Taekwon will take the mark. Deep in defence now. He's going to come into the corridor, so they're pretty confident. Garrard's there. Almost a great spoil. Was a great spoil. Comes to Long. He gets it out to Garrard. Garrard back to Long. Puts it up towards the half-forward flank now. Million's out after it, so was Donahue. Donahue gets there first. Has a handball now to Million. He goes on the left boot, Million. He puts it wide. And all
stayed in.
I thought it was going out, but it didn't. Good football by Inverleigh now as they come in.
Ball.
Well, no, that's Long again, is it?
Love.
Love, sorry. He had about 5 possessions all the way down. Who kicked that from out the back there?
Finn O'Keefe.
Finn O'Keefe, take a pat on the back, mate, because he's given it to Love. And I tell you what, I reckon he's had 4 touches from the half-back line all the way down to the forward line, Jared. And I tell you what, he deserves the goal.
This comes back to what we said earlier about having higher efficiency shots on goal. He could easily blaze. Early, if you had been in the first quarter then, they were blazing at that.
Yeah.
Point, out in the full, turnover, doesn't matter. Instead, he's lowered his eyes, he's pulled the trigger on an inside kick, and they've got themselves a higher efficiency shot.
In comes Love now. Gee, not a
Across
great
the face
kick.
there.
I think it's gone across the face of goal, but it's going to be it is going to be a point. 9-15, 69 to 4 straight 24. Bannockburn will bring it in pretty quickly. In it comes now. Oh, it's a tough kick because a tough kick to mark out there. Out they go now, out towards the boundary line. And the ball's going to roll out, and it's going to roll out. Right outside, about 60 metres around from the goals. That's the Inverleigh goal, I might add. Umpire's getting the designated ruckman in. I'm looking through who's standing there. Fulton's there, but I don't think is he going to go up? Yes, he is. Fulton and Wilson. Up they go now. Fulton pushes him out of the way strongly. Goes to Alex Brown. Brown puts it up, and I tell you what, good mark.
Spiller.
And that's Hayden Spiller. Deep in defence still. They've got to get it out of there pretty quickly if they can. Spiller now. Kicks it long up to the wing position. Up they go. There's going to be a free kick, is there?
Matty Taekwon there.
Yeah, he'll get a kick.
Yeah, interfered with. Good decision, umpire. Matty Tyquin now. True centre wing position. Has a bit of a look down there. He's going to stay out that side. Up they go. No one can take it. It's been pushed out. Over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in, and being way out there, I'd say we'll pass on the run.
Well done, Grubby. That was a fine performance under a great deal of pressure in the absence of Dale Smith filling and giving my Larricks a rest. So far side of the ground is set at it's Wilson and Fulton again. Fulton uses his body well. Drops it down, but it's Inverleigh who picked the ball up through Burke. A quick kick into the forward line. Measures and Donahue again. They've been battling away very well all afternoon. It's been a delight to watch. Out of bounds again, though. It beats both over. Forward pocket about 25 metres round from Inverleigh's goal.
He's starting to get on top around the ground here, Fulton, on Wilson. He's probably had a few good hit-outs now, and I think he might turn that game, hopefully back in Bannockburn's favour.
So it's Meehan now and Bowden who get it. Donniehue's picked up a crumb, tackled immediately by Measures. Broman picks up the ball that wobbled free, comes out towards Osborne. He can't pick it up in front of pressure from Billy Cations, and we'll have another boundary throw in. Far side of the ground, scoreboard showing 69-24 coming up to the 26-minute mark of this third quarter. This is the De Grande Sport and Cycle third quarter here at the Gordon Tafe Oval at St Albans. Getting up very high as Wilson didn't touch it. Fulton waits underneath, grabs the ball, can't get it away from the pack. Players underneath again. They're all getting a little bit tired now. When they hit the ground, they tend to just stay there. The umpire's called in. Toby Manganelli's the last one up. The umpire will ball it up again. Wilson and Fulton, no clear winner there. Love underneath the pack. He's tackled by many. There's five of them all just fell over there on top of each other.
You've got to keep your feet. You've got to keep your feet, Rob. Any chance of picking that ball up, getting clean entry, you've got to keep your feet.
It was just a horrible mess that the umpire blew the whistle on and said, come on, boys, let's get it up and we'll go again. Wilson this time gets it to Burke, who's been very busy. It comes back to Wilson. A quick little hand pass from him to Robertson, but intercepted by Jai Robinson from Bannockburn. His kick smothered. Comes back, Connor Jervis picks the ball up, bursts through the pack, hand passes. His hand passes missed the target, though. Billy Cations is grabbed. He can't get away from the pack. Players coming through everywhere. Will Middleton grabs it. His kick smothered. Umpire's blown a whistle as Alex Burke from Inverleigh gets the ball. But it's Inverleigh who've won the free kick through, looks like Templeton. Yes, Jacob Templeton's got it. He kicks long and low into the forward line, looking for a teammate in Grundle. Can't hold the mark, but he follows up. Still can't get the ball. The umpire said, "You won a free kick, son." And I think it might have one of those attack the legs. Dalton kicks quickly into the forward line. Burke's waiting underneath it.
Grozanowski, is it?
The umpire's blown the whistle.
Grozanowski.
No, he's going to...
He's going to bring it back here.
No, he's not going to pay the advantage. It was Grozanowski who comes up from the bottom of the pack.
I'm very surprised he's paying, Michael. I ran into him not long ago. It must have been about, 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I got told the knee was completely gone. He's out there heavily strapped now.
Well, he wasn't picked.
Late entry.
Yeah, May's pulled out this morning.
Okay, yep.
And they put him in. Why didn't they pay advantage? Maybe he paid the mark. Can't pay advantage on a mark.
It's possibly right. So
I couldn't see what it was for because I didn't think it was a free and I didn't think it was a mark.
Michael Grozanowski, 45-degree angle. He's only 25 metres out. He kicks and he's missed. That's 9 goals, 16. Horrible kicking, but it's got him to 70. Bannockburn a 4 straight, 24. We're coming up towards three-quarter time. 28 minutes into the De Grande Sport and Cycle third quarter. The ball is in the Tafe yard, waiting for that to come back. Fair bit of noise over at the netball court. Haven't got a score yet. Winchelsea playing Thompson over there in the qualifying final. We had Casey Carroll, the coach of Winch, in the box before the game. She wasn't necessarily overly confident, but she was confident.
She was asked some brilliant questions.
She was indeed. Clifton kicks the ball. That's better. That's more like the kicking we'd expect. He gets it across to Bowden. Bowden, a lovely kick down the line. Jai Robinson takes the mark. He finds Spiller. This is the best passage of play Bannockburn have produced for some time.
Absolutely.
Another loose player is Battaglia. He kicks into the pocket. There's a couple of loose ones down here. Fulton comes out and takes a very strong mark. So Inverleigh have not touched it from one end to the other. That has not happened all day by either side, actually.
Finally a bit of life from Bannockburn there.
Bit of life in the game, and they had a few players loose, prepared to run and make position, and that's a first for a while. So Kieran Fulton, 30 metres out directly in front. His side desperately needs
in that passage
him to
of play,
kick straight.
In that passage of play, what are the two things that stood out? Decision making and execution.
And they haven't been able to do that till now.
Hopefully they can continue with it, make a game of this in the last.
So Kieran Fulton, his team's 5th shot for the goal only in 3 quarters of football is quite amazing. They've kicked 4 straight up until now. The big fella comes off, leaves the boot. He's happy, his teammates are happy. That's their 5th of the afternoon. 5 straight 30, Inverleigh 9:16:70 coming up to the 30-minute mark of the Buckleys. No, it's the De Grande Sport and Cycle third quarter.
So, the big problem we had before the game with Fulton is whether to play him in the ruck or play him down forward. Now, even though it was great play by Bannockburn then, is there another Bannockburn player in that forward line that would have taken that mark?
I don't think so.
It
was a high set ball, and you had Harding leading back towards goal. It was probably too long a kick to get it over the back to him.
Yep.
So you had to set it up and give Fulton time to get there and climb, and it's exactly what he did.
You had Wilson coming in from the side to punch, but the strong hands he couldn't do it.
So back in the middle, Fulton has, after kicking that goal, got up high, won the tap out. The umpire's blown the whistle. Player's been held. It's an Inverleigh player, and it will be Jared Love, who's had a pretty good game this afternoon.
Yeah, liked his game.
He's a neat little pass. Crawley has made space centre wing all by himself, and he's been all right today too. He runs around, kicks long, deep into an important part of the forward line. Ball's over the back of the pack, coming through his circuit. Hand passes to Dalton Grundle. He drops it. He's kicked it under pressure, forcing it out towards the boundary line, and it's gone out of bounds in the pocket about 25 metres around from the goal. Just if he'd have grabbed that first, he'd have had a shot at goal, and that would have caused Bannockburn a great deal of pain.
Yeah, if.
A lot of kicking to 3-on-3s and 4-on-4s here. I don't understand. We're on the biggest ground in Geelong. How can't you find a bloke leading into space?
Just wondering whether they're working hard enough to run into space. They just seem to be happy to say, kick it to me. That's a quick kick by Burke across the body into a dangerous spot. Bannockburn are going to get there first. Right on the siren. 9:16:70, three-quarter time. Bannockburn 5 goals straight. And that was the end of the De Grande Sport and Cycle third quarter. Goal kickers, as I can see, 2 to Donoghue and 2 to Burke, and 1 each to Love, O'Keefe, Meehan and Grundle. And for Bannockburn, 1 to Kunchka, 1 to Jervis, 1 to Osborne, and 1 to Kieran Fulton. And there's 1 missing because they got 5. I'll try and find that in the meantime. Steelo will go back to you. This is the home of local football at 94.7 The Pulse.
Did you
The last quarter, brought to you by Morris Finance.
$40-point lead to Inverleigh at three-quarter time here at the Gordon Tafe Oval, home of the St Albans Footy Club. We're about to start the Morris Finance final quarter. Grubby, you've taken on the Bannockburn coaching job. Your good mate Ronnie Pilgrim is urging your charges on. What do they need to do to cause a miracle?
Well, I think they have to play like he used to play and like their coaches playing, the other coaches playing. Just give it everything they got. I'm not sure they can win against the wind. All these goals down, I don't think they can win from here. I really don't. But stranger things have happened, but, gee, they'd have to start well. And I just think, give it 10 minutes, and if you're not going to win, you can put your cue in the rack and worry about Bellpost Hill or West for next week, because Inverleigh have been too good. But as I said in the break, your really good players from Inverleigh haven't dominated, and yet they've still been far too good for the Tigers at this stage, and it just worries me whether they're just lacking in class to finish off the year against these good sides. So, but I tell you what, both of these sides at the moment, I don't think are playing as well as East are playing.
No,
but
correct.
When they all get out there next week, and I'm pretty sure now it's going to be Inverleigh, they have to have their, like your Grundles and even Donohue's, Wilson's playing all right. They have to play their best football to beat East. They didn't play it last time and they got beaten easily. My only worry is East have got a lot of kids, so there might be a little bit of awestruck there. You never know, and you'd have to attack them a little bit. Not, well, physically, but not illegally. That's what I'd be doing anyway, because they're such good kids.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. Start of that third quarter, something had to happen. Bannockburn had to do something drastic to try and sway that momentum.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, take it back to bloody the 1980s, but what I am saying is someone had to make a statement. I don't think it was done.
Well, the statement should have been with the wind to kick 3 or 4 quick ones.
Guys, you've talked a lot all year about this ground and the size of it and the need to run hard. I haven't seen many prepared to work hard and run into space. The ball's just been kicked to packs an awful lot. Are the players not using the space?
It's a very hard ground to play on after you've played on all the 18 rounds on small grounds. It's very hard to play.
I think they've used the space. I think they've used it probably incorrectly, though. They've gone wide when they shouldn't have gone wide, and they've probably gone a bit narrow and turned the ball over when it was probably too dangerous to do so.
Well, they can't do that now. Bannockburn have just got to use the corridor and go bang, bang, bang straight there. If it comes back the other way and they get scored against, bad luck. They're getting beat anyway. They've got to go down the middle every single time, the closest way to goal.
So we're back in the middle. The Morris Finance final quarter will start. Fulton and Wilson goes up. Fulton attacked that very strongly. The ball was still whacked Inverleigh's way, though. Hand pass out the back. It's Love, kicks it off the ground. Manganelli runs onto the ball. He's tackled by Broman. It's Love again, gets another little kick off the ground. This time Circuit bursts through. He gets it to O'Keefe. O'Keefe slaps the ball forward. It's running out. It's Bowden gets it. There's a quick kick off the ground by Finn O'Keefe across into the forward pocket. Gone across the face of goal. And it beats Adam Donohue over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. Only a couple of metres round from the point post. They're already leading by 40 points.
We've got Jack Broman coming to the bench here, holding that left wrist, what it looks like.
Oh dear, that's hard work. It's Finn O'Keefe who has a quick kick after that boundary throw in, and that is a goal. He's kicked it, picked up the crumb off the pack, kicked it right across his body, very tight angle, straight through the middle. That takes it to 46 points, and it was hard before. It's frightfully hard now. Great start for the Hawks.
It's over. I can tell you that now. It is over. I guess Bannockburn can't come back from that. They needed the first couple, Bisso.
It's amazing. 26 scoring shots to 5. It's quite staggering for sides of this capability in a final.
The wins are relevant now. What I'd like to see is just a bit of life from Bannockburn to show next week's side, whoever that is, that, hang on, we're here to play. It's not just going to be a walk in the park for them.
So Wilson and Fulton again. Fulton wins this one. He gets it out into some space, but the first one there is Inverleigh's Jared Young. He gets on it. Players going everywhere. It's just quite... The umpires was forced to have a look at the clearing some space there. Circuit's got a free kick. He gets it to Templeton, to Gerard. Hand passes back to Templeton. Kicks into the forward line for Burke. Measures, gets him out of the way very nicely. Coming onto the
ball there is O'Keefe. He couldn't handle the ball. Bannockburn have grabbed it. Tackle down. The umpire's called in. There was a ball up. There's another Bannockburn player down.
Measures down behind play.
Yeah, it looks like Dan Measures holding his lower leg, shin area. I don't know whether it's the knee or the ankle or the shin where he's actually got his hand, but he is in a great deal of pain at this stage. Trainer's heading out there, and he's lying on the ground only a couple of metres from where this ball's got to be thrown up, so there's a bit of a delay. Players are very concerned. They're talking stretcher, signalling for a stretcher at this stage, which means that's a bit messy. I can look over onto the netball court, and I see that Thompson have gone from 33 to 30 down. They're now leading 38 to 36 in the A-grade netball qualifying final. Don't know what stage of the game it's up to, but Thompson have definitely got momentum at this particular stage.
Judging by the time there, Rob, it'd have to be close to the last, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they've just got their nose in front. A couple of goals in front, Thompson, over Winchelsea. And that might be 3 goals in front now. So they've definitely got huge momentum. They've scored 9-3 in the last little period of play. Daniel Measures in a great deal of pain, and that may be a break, possibly in the leg. The stretcher's out there. Both sides in huddles.
As Coach Grubby, do you send Jack Bowman back on that ground? He looks like he wants to come back on, but
no, you don't. You
don't risk it?
Unless it was just a stinger and he's okay. But if there is any structural damage in there, I know that he'll want to go back on.
Oh, yeah, correct.
The captain and the coach, his footy side, when they're not going well. But who was it? I think it was East. Early in the year, they kept sending Huey Menzies back on with his shoulder. And then he finished up missing 5 or 6 weeks. You've got to err on the side of discretion here and say, look, let it go. Stay there, Jackie. You're playing next week.
Yeah,
we're not going to have. Actually, the captain is coming off now. I think Daniel Measures is the captain.
Oh, is he? There you
from
go.
memory.
Just on that, Nathan, you're 46 points down. You're looking for something in the game, and as you're trying to develop that spirit, arguably your best player is carried off on a stretcher. What's that do for the psyche of the group?
It can go one or two ways. It can really put a damper on things and send you back in your shell, or it can spur you up and say, hey, let's band together here for Measures and have one good final quarter.
The trouble is, it can spur you on, but you're 8 goals down. You can't spur you on to kick 8 goals in 20 minutes, I don't think.
No, he's in a great deal of pain, Dan Measures. He's one of the most decorated local footballers from Queenscliff and St Joseph's, premiership player at both of those clubs, and arrived at Bannockburn last year. He's leaving the ground now, so play will resume. Far side of the ground, the umpire will ball it up. It's right on the corner of the centre square. Inverleigh slightly in attack. They're leading by 46 points. Up the ball goes. Wilson over the top. Whacks it down. It's Gerard who's grabbed the ball for Inverleigh. He's not going anywhere. He's tackled immediately and will have a secondary ball up right on that same corner of the centre square. Up it goes again. Fulton has got front position. This time wins the ball down, but Jared Love for Inverleigh grabs it, kicks it across his body out towards the boundary line. And the umpire has said that will be a throw-in. No, out on the full. And Bannockburn have got the kick through Clifton.
Gee.
He's in the far back pocket for Bannockburn. They've got to mount something. A neat little pass from him. Finds Kieran Fulton on the lead. He's between the centre square and the 50-metre arc, trying to get out of defence. Kicks long down the wing. Comes over the back of the pack. Bill Middleton kicks it off the ground. It's getting towards Harding. Coming through there and kicking it long is Jerv. He's into the pocket. Osborne gets a good bounce. It favours him. He's tackled immediately. Comes out of the back of the pack, and it's Billy Cations for Inverleigh who wins the ball, kicks down the line and finds Gerard. Half-back flank. He kicks it long across the middle of the ground, and that is Jared Love, who's just keeps racking up with the possessions in a fine game this afternoon. Centre half forward punched away from Grundle. Gets it to O'Keefe, kicks quickly into the forward line, but it's smothered. Donoghue is going to arrive there with Ettridge. He hand passes away. His teammate can't get any benefit at all. Players jump all over the top of it, and we're going to have a ball up.
There's a big tackle by Young there.
I was just about to say, Young tackle. He's not slowing down, Young. He's going flat out. Probably the oldest man on the ground, you would think.
We discussed young and circuit before the game and how their influence would be being the more mature players, but I think they've stood strong today, both of them.
I'd probably need a bit more out of circuit.
Ball comes out. The ruckman Wilson gets a crumb, kicks it long into the forward line.
Paddy.
Burke takes a wonderful little chest mark as he pushes Ladgrove out of the road, plays on immediately, kicks his third goal for the afternoon, his team's 12th, and they are now in an unassailable position, 52 points in front, and we are 6 minutes into the Morris Finance final quarter.
My worry, Bisso, is that was Broman's shoulder he came off for.
He's back out there now,
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's a hard one to judge with Broman. He's a very tough player and he very strong-willed, so it could be more serious than what you think.
Can you
but
be too tough?
You can't.
You know?
Some of the things I've seen that man do, I'd question how serious that injury was.
So
42 to 42 over there, is it?
yes, it is. So we're even on the netball court. Winch have got a bit of momentum back. They've clawed back from 3 goals down. We're back at the middle here. 52-point lead to Inverleigh. 11-16 they are. Bannockburn 5 straight goals. They've got another ball up in the centre of the ground. Fulton lays it down looking for Ramos, but coming through is Wilson himself. Batters up. The umpires played advantage.
First advantage for the day.
Ball wobbles into a serious spot for Grundle. Gets it to Manganelli. He takes on a tackler.
Great tackle.
He will be penalised for holding the ball too long. He had a second to make a decision. He decided to take the tackler on. And Clifton is going to take... No, it's Jervis for Bannockburn. That is not a great kick out towards Fulton. He's good enough to get a hand on it, though. His teammates, opponents keeping him under great pressure. Hand passed back towards Gerard, but missed him over the boundary line. Throw in, centre wing, far side of the ground. This the fizz has gone out of this contest, but if those people get out of the road of that netball scoreboard, we might be able to keep you entertained from over there. Not quite sure what's happening. Everyone's gone quiet. Perhaps there's been a timeout.
Still 42-42.
Coming through, Jervis picks up a crumb, takes a bounce. Long, low pass across the half-forward line, but Muir for Inverleigh comes out and takes a saving mark in defence for the Hawks. He hasn't had a lot to do today. What he's done it well. Plays on now, kicks back to where it came from, back to centre wing. Fulton read that beautifully, took a chest mark at the back of the pack, using his body to keep the Inverleigh players away from the ball drop.
Bit of kick to kick here, Grubby.
Yeah, it is.
So Kieran Fulton, he's a short pass onto the centre wing and finds Billy Ritchie. He kicks a bit further down the line and finds Cole. Cole kicks further down to Jervis. He's away now. Long kick into the forward line, looking for Harding there. Beats him over the boundary line. Boundary umpires have had a lot to do on that far side again today, and there'll be another throw-in. 52-point lead, 10 minutes into the Morris Finance last quarter. And either the game finished or it's a timeout. Perhaps it is finished and they've got to play a bit of time at each end or something. Anyway, Billy Cations gets the ball, kicks it down towards Gerard, beats him over the boundary line. More work for the boundary umpires.
Robbie, obviously this stage in the game, the score being is what it is. Inverleigh start looking at maybe bringing a few blokes off.
Yeah, I think they just did. Tabby Manganelli come off for a rest, and I think that's what they've got to do now, for sure.
So Fulton and Wilson they've done most of the day. Billy Ritchie gets the ball for Bannockburn, kicks it forward, looking for and finding Josh Cole. He'll take a mark and have a shot for goal. Oh, he'll kick from about 30 metres out. He'll be slightly tighter than a 45-degree angle by the look of things. The action's recommenced on netball court, still 42 each. As Josh Cole for Bannockburn trying to put some respectability onto this scoreboard. Comes in, leaves the boot. It's a drop punt. It's fading across to the left. 1 point behind only. That is the first behind for Bannockburn.
It is.
After 3 quarters and 11.5 minutes. That is amazing. Anyway, it's in the back pocket. It's Templeton who kicks out and finds Cations for Inverleigh in the back pocket. He's got other options down the line. And, one of those was going to be Bile, but it was intercepted by Condi. Not much talking there. Jai Robinson drops the ball. He's tackled again, but breaks away, gets it on his left foot, kicks it forward, and coming out and taking a strong mark is Alex Brown. for Inverleigh. He kicks into the opposite back pocket. Ryan Gerard doesn't quite get there, but he picks it up on the half volley, gets around his opponent. And a neat little pass is not well directed. And taking a mark is Lockie Middleton for Bannockburn. He's going to go back and have a shot for goal. He probably kicked from about 45 metres out, slightly tighter than 45 degrees.
Thompson in front by 1. Goes over to the goalkeeper, gives over to the centre. Wing defence comes in.
Magnificent stuff. Ball's kicked into the square over the back of the pack. The ball's thrown onto the boot, goes nowhere. Coming clear is Condi, kicks it to Grozdanovsky over his head. Ettridge comes out, and that is very poor play, young man. He walked around that, allowed Grozdanovsky to run onto it. Donohue's got that, back to Taekwon. He attacks the ball very hard. That is a good hand pass out into space to Circuit. Coming through very strongly is Hutchison. He tries to get it away to a teammate. He does so. Robertson's got it. He's tackled immediately into the centre square. Jared Love going in hard. Comes out of the back of the pack to Ritchie. He hand passes to Ettridge. He kicks across, and Matt Taekwon takes a relieving mark for Inverleigh.
Taekwon now.
Comedy of errors.
On the wing position. Hasn't had one of his great days, but has been serviceable. Nice little kick. Anyone can take that. And Casey
patience.
Well, that's right. And Casey Meehan comes out. Gets him the left boot. He put it straight down the throat of Jai Robinson. Wrong Robinson, son. But he's on the wrong side. And Robinson takes a mark. He's tried pretty hard. Gets on. He puts his little left foot kick in. And it goes over to a nice little pass. Off they go now. Over to Billy Ritchie. Billy Ritchie out towards the wing position. He's looking for Cole. Got a bit of a grab, but take the mark anyway. Cole on the wing position. Goes over to Jervis. Puts it up towards centre forward. He's looking for Fulton, but they just swamped him, and he couldn't get to where he wanted to get to. Muir comes through. Kicks it off the ground. Probably didn't mean to, but then gets one high. And the umpire will say, Dean Muir, you had a big crack at that. You can have a free kick. Muir now. Centre half back. Just taking his time.
You're buck here one-on-one. You got to go there.
Up he goes now. He's gone in the direction of Big Wilson, and he's done everything else today. He might as well take another mark, Big Wilson. Luke Wilson had a fantastic year. Comes in now. It's a funny old wobbly kick. No one's going to mark that, is it? No, Spiller gets a hand to it. Oh, out it comes there to Ettridge it was.
Oh, that's in the back, surely.
Yeah, umpire says no, play on. Good bump in there. In they come. The ball's on the bottom of the pack. A big high tackle there, but the umpire's on the wrong side of the pack. Come in and say, give it to me, boys, and I'll have another bounce. 11-16-82, 5-1-31. And we've gone, how long have we gone? About 15 minutes into this final quarter. Umpire now comes in. Up it goes again. Wilson in ruck will get the tap out as usual. I can say that before it happens. Goes out to Love. Love puts it up towards, well, almost a mark. Free kick, whatever you want. And that's going to be paid. And that's to Dalton Grundle. Grundle now. Funny looking kick. Robinson almost intercepts. Comes out to Rusty Garrard. He puts it on the left boot. It's going to go close, but not quite close enough. 11-17-82. 5-1-31 on the Morris Finance scoreboard. And in comes Clifton. So there's a nice lead out there. And away he goes. Good footy there. Meehan didn't really know what to do with that one. And it comes into Paddy Burke. Burke now in this true centre position of the ground of St Albans Gordon Tafe Oval. Puts another one out to Wilson. He's getting my best on the ground, Wilson. I don't care what you blokes say. Puts it up to Templeton. Templeton's been pretty good too. And Templeton just in front of the broadcast box or coach's box as Smitty calls it. Puts it over to Robinson. He runs in. He takes a bounce. He gets on the left boot. Fires it up towards the goals. Punched away there by the Bannockburn defence. And a handball out goes to Circuit. Circuit gets clobbered. Play on. Good tackle, Bowden. Goes over now towards Battaglia. Battaglia gets a handball out towards the back pocket position. Great tackle, Inverleigh. Can't see who that was out there. He needs a pat on the back.
It was Toby Manganelli.
It was Toby. And good footy, Inverleigh. They've kept the ball in there. 11-17 to 5-1. I suppose we don't stop calling that because she's over here. In it comes now. Up they go. Big Cole gets the tap out. But it goes to Garrard. No, it doesn't. It's picked up by Dalton Grundle. He puts it deep. He's looking for Taekwon! And Matty Taekwon takes the mark. 15 metres out. Almost directly in front to put the icing on the cake. for the mighty Hawks.
And what a good job by Casey Meehan to keep a couple of them busy while talking. Took that mark.
And he comes now. Matt Tyquin, formerly from Bannockburn, the side he's playing against today. You don't see him missing this. The umpire doesn't see him missing it because he doesn't even move. Beautiful goal, Matty Tyquin. 12-18 to 5-1 on the Morris Finance scoreboard.
That is a fine job, Grubby Cations. I think you've found a new career in this job. If you can just get a bigger pair of binoculars for those far distant shots, I think you've got some. It looks like Winchelsea 3 goals up, 40, might be 2 now, 48 to 46. I think they're the side on the left. Ball heading down their end. Very exciting game over there. It's 48-46, and I think Winch higher on the ladder are the team to the left. And I'm pretty sure.
How many points do you get for a goal?
You get one. There's blue and white streamers, and I think that's 49 to 46. Yes, Winchelsea definitely gets Melody. Philpott, their star goal shooter, dropped that one in. 90 to 31 here in the footy. It's an unusual ruck contest. Bile, so I reckon Wilson's been sent for the cotton wool at this particular stage, as he should. Ball comes to Battaglia. He kicks into the forward line for Bannockburn, and coming out and taking a strong mark there is Osborne, who kicked the first goal of the game for the Bannockburn side. And he's lining up for his second now. Directly in front, he'll probably kick from about 35 or 40 metres out. And it's not much value to his team at 18 and a half minutes into the Morris Finance final quarter. And they are 59 points in arrears. But it will help morale a little bit. Aidan Osborne leaves the boot pretty well. Goal umpire has not moved a muscle. And that is the 6th goal for Bannockburn. They're 6-1. 37. Inverleigh at 12-18-90. Grubby, you've just about set the best player, the Wagyu beef. It's heading Inverleigh's way, but he has played well, hasn't he?
It's not actually, because it only goes for 18 rounds, mate. You don't go for finals.
Oh, we got nothing to give him.
There's a full-on side here, isn't it? I thought he was the biggest loss in the competition, actually, Big McEwen Walsh, but they've covered him today.
They have indeed. He was certainly no loss to Dale Smith, who had an enormous amount of trouble getting Caddison, McEwen, Walsh out.
I wish Werribee were playing. Connor Linehan, Cunningham.
Cole and Bile back in the middle of the ground. Cole gets it to Battaglia. He tries to get it away, and he's tried it very hard again on hands and knees in the middle of the ground. Inverleigh are still desperate at this stage, but there's going to be a ball up. We're still inside the centre circle. They're leading by 53 points here in the Morris Finance final quarter. They've been very, very comprehensive winners here today. Cole has now started to dominate without Wilson around, and what difference that makes. Paddy Burke, who's been quite sensational today, intercepted that hand pass.
He's been busy.
He has indeed. He is a great little... Oh, that's a pretty good effort by Jai Robinson too. Mark didn't quite hang on to it. Ball bobbles out. Dalton Grundle actually gets it across to Robertson. That's a beautiful low pass to Robertson on the lead of Matt Tyquin, and he's marked 40 metres out directly in front. He's just kicked his first goal for the game a few minutes ago, and he's lining up for his second to get the margin back to 59 points.
Well, the luxury of 8 goals up is you can throw Tyquin forward late in the game.
Well, yeah, you can. And they threw him early when Middleton was probably beating him. But, hey, against the win, it's still not out of the question here because he lovely kick. He's probably kicked it too high.
He's got underneath it with the 9-iron, punched away from the pack by Bowden. He gets it across to Rusty Gerard. A quick little snap from him. Misses everything out of bounds on the full.
Been around many years now, Rusty, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you what, years ago, he knows his pace, he knows everything, and he kicks that goal. But he just kicked it a bit too quick because he knows he's dropped just a touch of pace.
Jervis kicks beautifully, and the coach, Jack Broman, is back on the ground, so a stinger must have been the injury he received. He kicks down the line looking for Cole over the back. The pack Templeton gets it inside to Tyquin. Tyquin to Jared Love. He gets it, hand passes quickly to Brown. He kicks into the pocket looking for Grozdanovsky. He gets around his opponent. Hand passes across to Hutchison. Low pass from Hutchison and Rusty Gerard.
See, left footer, that was a great left foot pass.
Has a chance. No, he's decided to do the team thing. Kick in the middle of the ground looking for Robertson, but he can't quite get there before Battaglia, and he kicks out to Jervis, and Jervis finds Ramos on the halfback flank for Bannockburn. He kicks into the middle of the ground. Finds Bowden. No, Bowden has taken. No, the umpire's paid it. Thought he had it long enough before Love knocked the ball out of his hands. So Bowden's looking for some options. He's found Spiller. No, it's Ledgrove actually. He's found Spiller on the half-back flank, but that's a great little mark by Paddy Burke. His flag is rising even higher. He kicks it into the middle of the ground and finds Robertson.
Why wouldn't you have had a shot for goal back there? Get your name in the paper.
Yeah. And Gerard has got his third chance to kick a goal. He missed a snap. He gave one off to a teammate, and he's given another one off to a teammate. But this time he's given it to Billy Ritchie. So a beautiful kick normally, but that is a defender's kick. Battaglia, the Tristan variety, marks the ball. He gets it across to Bowden. Bowden kicks into the middle of the ground looking for Broman. He can't control the ball. Hand passed by Ladgrove. Gets it back to Bowden. He hand passes to Ritchie. And Ritchie out wide finds Spiller. They're into attack now. They're their side of the centre, Bannockburn. They've kicked 6-1 only this afternoon. They'll be desperate to get some numbers a bit better than that on the scoreboard. That is a terrible kick also. And Crawley comes out and takes a mark for Inverleigh at centre half back. He's decided to go backwards to Templeton in the opposite back pocket. And Jacob Templeton, who's had a pretty good game this afternoon as well, finds Condi half back flank. Condi's kicking out, looking for Manganelli and finds him right underneath the scoreboard, showing 90-37 Inverleigh's way. Toby Manganelli's done some good things today as well. Been a lively little lead up forward for them. Long drop punt. The Breeze is holding it up. In front of the pack there, Blake Hutchison gets a crumb. He quickly kicks it forward into wide open spaces. First there is Jai Robinson for Bannockburn. Little pass into the middle of the ground finds Clifton. Clifton kicks across to Battaglia. He kicks further down the line looking for his brother, but coming in to take a mark. The umpire hasn't paid it. He must have picked it up on the half volley. I think that was Burke. And there'll be a throw in.
52-48 still.
Very, very tight A-grade netball game. We must be deep in the last quarter at this stage. So Bile gets a very good tap out. Jai Robinson picks up the crumbs, kicks it down looking for Fulton. He comes out and takes a very strong chest mark. And here's another chance to get some respectability on the scoreboard for Bannockburn. We're 24 minutes into the Morris Finance final quarter. We talked a lot about Kieran Fulton before the game, Grubby. How did you think he's gone today? I'll ask Nathan that.
All right. Look, I think he's had a limited entry when he's gone forward. It's probably affected his impact on the game. One person I do want to mention this last quarter, Robinson from Bannockburn. He hasn't dropped the head one bit, and he's had a good crack at this. He's thrown everything into this last quarter, and I think he's one that could hold his head high.
He's done a pretty good job. Fulton kicks the ball. He's happy. And that is the 7th goal for Bannockburn. 7-1-43 they are. And Inverleigh are careering out at 12 goals, 17. I think, from what I can see on the scoreboard, and we must be about 25 or 6 minutes into the Morris Finance. 25 it is. 12-18 plays 7-1. Morris Finance, great sponsors of the Geelong and District Football Netball League. They'd be happy with the turnout here today. It's a pretty good ground. Cars everywhere, no parking within kilometres. Neville Whitley will be grinning like a cat over there in the rooms.
He probably will too. So up goes the ball now. Cole in ruck. He goes up again. Who was that in the ruck? A little fella, but it comes out in Bannockburn's direction. But the Inverleigh defence in Alex Brown, who's been fantastic all day, takes a mark on the half-back flank. They have to kick it this side, I reckon, Inverleigh, so I can see the play better. but not around the corner.
Can we get Grubby some bigger binoculars here, please?
Don't worry about the binoculars. If he parks the truck properly, I can see that. Jules, good on you. Out they come now, Inverleigh, up towards the half-back flank. Big Cole sets himself and takes a nice mark. On the wing position. Members' side of the ground. And he comes now, puts it up towards the half-forward flank. The big men fly for the guest video. Pie! And Broman takes a beauty. Gets onto the right boot. He sees a little lead. It's coming out by, looks like Fulton again, I think.
A lot better.
And you just start to wonder. You just start to wonder if he didn't play so much minutes in the ruck, where he did lower his colours, he might have been a valuable asset. He's going to kick 3 or 4 in the finish.
Go back the other way, though. Poodle's out of the middle, and they've started to win the middle.
Well, I know that, but I just think he lowered his colours anyway to Wilson. Let Cole lowers his colours and maybe get a forward focal point in attack. They've got to come up with something different if they play Bannockburn again. Fulton comes in. That's a beautiful kick from Fulton. The umpire takes 3 steps backwards and says, beautiful kick, Kieran. Straight through the middle, 13-18-96. And Inverleigh, I tell you what, it is a good performance in the finish, but something they can work on.
I see some dancing over the netball court, and it's navy blue netball tunics that are dancing. So Winchelsea have defeated Thompson. I reckon it's 56-53, and that would have been a high-quality game.
In extra time?
No, I think three-quarter time was what the break we must have seen before, because they've played a fair bit since.
I didn't think netball finished this late, as we're nearly finished as well. But anyway, 12-18-90 Inverleigh, 8-1-49 on the Morris Finance scoreboard. Up goes Cole. I think Lockie Boyle's gone into the ruck. It cups to Tyke when he gets a handball out to Garrard. Garrard goes across the ground, almost an interception, but play on's the call. Picked up by Lockie Middleton. Lockie Middleton looks for Konchka. Probably been beaten today, Konchka, as Condi picks it up. Goes back to Muir. He comes towards over to Jared Love, and he's put in a beauty, Love. He always does when I see him. Gets it out to Bile. Look at him. He's a ruckman. I can't believe that. Right, Bile now. Puts it in towards the half-forward flank. Picked up marked by Hutchinson. Hutchinson back to Long. Love. They're not even looking at him as he drives into the goal. No mark paid. Picked up. No, it's not. The Bannockburn defence are desperate. And there'll be a ball up right in the middle of the points and goals at the netball into the ground.
When you have Mikey Grozanowski leading at the kicker, then arguably a couple of metres on his opponent, yet they still kick long to the 2-on-2.
They do.
I don't know whether that might be a focus point for Groz to get front and centre to that. I'm not sure, but I'd prefer to lead up. I'd prefer to hit that lead up at the kicker.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, as the ruck competition there puts it over the bound through the points for a point to Inverleigh. Clifton now, another good kick. Can't quite take the mark out there. Robertson swoops on it. Gives a handball to a bloke with 8 Bannockburn players around him. He won't be thanking him for that. And the umpire comes in and says, I think I'll bounce this at 12-19-91, 8-1-49 on the Morris Finance scoreboard. Umpire comes in, throws the ball up, tapped out by Cole, but he taps it straight. Oh, there's the siren. There's the sirens gone here at the Gordon Tafe Oval with Inverleigh, 12-19-91, and they have defeated a disappointing Bannockburn, 8-1-49.
Before we go back to Steelo in the studio, the goal kickers aren't exact, but we do know Paddy Burke's kicked 3. Finn O'Keefe and Adam Donoghue have kicked 2 for Inverleigh, and singles to Love, Meehan and Grundle, and I reckon we're 1 short. And Kieran Fulton kicked 3 late goals when he went permanently forward and was a really strong presence. And Cole, Kunchka, Jerbies and Osborne, who kicked 2.
Soon as Smithy goes, you stuff it up. He hasn't stuffed it in 15 years, and you get 1 go out.
I reckon we're 1 short. And Kieran Fulton kicked
and to make things worse, you're saying it again!
Forward and was a really strong presence. And Cole, Kunchka, Jerbies and
we're getting it all back.
Who kicked. Steelo, if you're back in the studio, I think you better take a little break while we get our breath back here. I
didn't know what to do when I left school. I liked
Football action, the match of the day, only on 94.7 The Pulse.
We're back here at the Gordon Tafe Oval, the home of the St Albans Football Club, where all the Geelong and District Football Netball League finals are played. We can report, we believe that Winchelsea have won the qualifying final in the netball 56-53 over Thompson. Around the grounds, South Bowen 106 defeated Colac 61 in the GFL. And in the Battle of the Catholics, St Joseph's have beaten St Mary's by 4 points. We'll get to the Ballerina in a minute before these two boys tear this game to pieces, which has been a very interesting game. And massive winners, Torquay 19-11, 125, Bowen Heads 7-8-50. So Torquay straight into the Ballerina Grand Final. Bowen Heads take on Mottawarri or Drysdale next week. Start with you, Nathan Bissett. You are the coach of Inverleigh. You've had a good win, and that's all well and good, but just watching this game today, are you going to go into next week's game with a slick, quick ball moving East Geelong with a lot of confidence based on what you saw today?
Mixed bag there. The skills weren't great throughout the game. They had great passages, and I think what they can take out of it is their forward entry. They had an abundance of forward entry all game. So 14 in the first, 12 second, 12 in the third, only 8 in the last, and Bannockburn were able to wrestle back a bit of momentum there with 7 themselves, and 3 late goals by Kieran Fulton and a couple others there. So if I was the coach, if I was Buck, I'd probably look forward to Tuesday, and what I'd probably try and do is just get that efficiency on the skills a little bit higher, and probably look for those, probably shorten up kicks. I think they had a lot of chances early in the game to lower the eyes and hit that leading forward. Instead, they blazed and put it on, the 2-on-2s and 3-on-3s, Grubby. And I think if they can just lower those eyes there, moving forward against East, I think they'll do all right.
Yeah, look, I've got a lot to work on as Bannockburn coach. I've got a lot to work on. I've lost my captain, and by the looks of it, when you come off on a stretcher, very rarely you come back the following week, unless you're Timmy Barton with 3 broken legs. He came back one year, but
he'll grow a 4th, Barton.
Yeah, I tell you. But look, I lose him. I played Fulton in the ruck all day, and he lowered his colours. If he's winning, fine, but he lowered his colours, and he went back and. I know he kicked 3 or 4, but a couple of them were junk time goals, and I really think we needed another goal kicker up there. I tell you what, some of me good players, like we asked for Connor Jervis to do what we asked, run down the ground and kick goal or kick it, and a couple of times he did, but he just didn't quite do it enough. They didn't get it out to him properly either. I'm not blaming him, but a few of these better players, I thought Jack can hold his head up. I thought he played well. But they've got a couple of players out there that I think are better players than they showed today.
I reckon Robinson has the right to hold his head high.
Yeah, good player.
I think he finished the game strong. When the game's out of reach going into the last, there's 2 things you can do. And you can drop your head, which I think a few of them did. But I think Jai Robinson really stood strong and delivered that ball into the 50 with purpose in that last. And that was what was able to give Fulton a few shots on goal there. So I think he's one that can hold his head high in that side.
Spiller tried pretty hard. The Cole boys, they were outgunned a little bit, but they just kept going. They went pretty hard all day. Ladgrove probably didn't do too bad a job. Bowden, it was a funny game because as a backman you didn't have to do much because the ball wasn't coming in well enough. So a lot of the times you went inside 50 and didn't score. Wasn't just great defence, it was a little bit shabby going in and the standard. Look,
Jack Violet would have had a field day today.
Yeah.
Long bomb balls coming in. He would have had an absolute field day, I reckon, intercept marks.
I watched young Kunchka a couple of times, and he really had a go too, and he's got a bit of size about him. A little bit early for him yet to take the game by the scruff of the neck, especially a final. But I think there's something there. There's a lot to work on there. I think he'll be okay. Clifton uncharacteristically kicked the ball not as well as we thought a couple of times, but then he came good as well. So, look, a lot to work on. Billy Ritchie, I need more out of Billy. I don't know, did he kick a couple of goals, but you just need a bit more of him around the ground, I think. And if he can give that, and Lockie Middleton give that, and Willie Middleton did a good job of tagging Matty Tyquin. That's probably the worst game I've seen Matty Tyquin play. He probably still had over 20 touches, but he was held early, so much so that he went down forward to get away from Willie. And when he did that, Willie had a few kicks too. He
got to give Bannockburn a bit of credit there. I think they manned Tyquin well today.
Yeah, they did.
Just bounced between Spiller and Will Middleton, and I think the handover was perfect. Like you said, Arguably Tyquin still had probably 20 touches, but was he influential enough? To you, Grubby, what would you say?
No, not today. Not today. But the thing is, when you're winning games of footy, there's other people that can chime in and help. Like, look, I thought the Measures Donahue was a great battle. Now, Donahue's finished with what, 2?
2. Yep.
But I still probably lean towards Measures just a fraction. But again, the ball wasn't...
Delivery wasn't great.
No, I said earlier, you've been beaten by Measures 2 times in 2 games. And the first time the ball comes in, your teammate hits your opponent right on the chest after you've made position. So, but it was a good battle, and I thought Donahue did a few things, not just kick goals, but he was involved in the play as well. I love Jared Love. I've given him votes every time I've seen him play. The other bloke that we spoke about early, Jared Young, he was good. He was tough. He was hard.
Played that bone cruncher there.
Yeah, he didn't give any 50s or any silly things away. He just hit them hard. As I say, he's getting a bit old. There's not much left for him. Hopefully another year, but there's not that much left for him.
I think he held his own on a big ground here today.
He did.
Him and Circuit was good early without being great. But I think he was consistent through the earlier parts of the game when it was there to be won. And I think he did his job early. So those two blokes can rest their head on that.
Question for you, Bannockburn coach. 3 kids that we talked about, the team have had great faith, Osborne, Ettridge and Ramos. We watched Link Peters running around in the seconds. Have they got to be really serious and look at bringing Peters in for one of those kids, or do you just stick fat with a long-term view and give these kids finals experience?
Well, I know what Ronnie will do. Ronnie Pilgrim's all for the kids at Bannockburn. That's what he came in for. He basically, they lost the first game against West, and it didn't worry him because he had kids out there that he looked like were going to be all right. So I think they'll stay with the kids. But mind you, their kids today were down. Yeah, right? I've seen Ettridge play out at Bannockburn, a real ripper of a game early in the year. It wasn't quite there. Osborne, I think he kicked a goal early, and I thought, hello, they've found something here, but he's still got a lot of work to do on him too.
Did I see that Hetherington sitting in the 2s?
Yes,
solid target. I think he played a few ones games this year. I think he's probably very capable of getting up and down this ground.
Well, I think Dan Gross might have played in the 2s as well.
Did too, as well. Another one that's probably arguably a senior footballer.
For Inverleigh, yeah.
So that just shows the strength and the depth, I think, of Inverleigh. I'd hate to say it, but the one man I think set the game on fire, and he's one of those men you love to hate, especially playing against him. But when he kicks a goal, he lets you know about it, and that's Paddy Burke. He kicked early goals today. And
we're not giving votes today necessarily, but if I was giving them, he got 1, Love got 2, and Wilson got 3 for me. I just thought they were influential in 3 different parts of the ground. I keep looking at Wilson, and I saw him when he was at North Geelong. I'd heard about his reputation, and I thought he was lazy, a bit of a front runner. But I've watched him this year for Inverleigh 5 times now. Every time I've seen he's got better. He's won the ruck every game, but he's now becoming more influential. I mean, he's running around grabbing hand passes, picking out blokes in the forward line. He's been battling on his hands and knees on the ground. He was really impressive.
I reckon he's gained a second and third effort since I played with him 10 plus years ago now. He, like you said, we're not giving votes today, but if I had to give votes, 1 to Jai Robinson for battling out the game and really making a large effort there in the last half when the game was probably done. Paddy Burke set it on fire early with some early goals and some good forward pressure. And same against Rita Wilson, I think, for a ruckman. Not just a 360-degree tap ruckman who arguably set the tone for you early. His second and third follow-up efforts, then to rove his own ball or to get that follow-up handball back and use his feet going forward. That's a very hard man to stop coming into the back part of finals.
Yeah, look, I do have a text. A bloody fantastic call, lads. Bisso is a lot better when he's not talking about himself.
Must be from Spider, is it?
That was from Spider. Mitch sent.
I learned from the best. He was
Mitch sent 3 texts, and I won't even bother with him because they're a load of rubbish, just like he talks. So,
interestingly, Grubby, that was the last few minutes when Wilson went off, and they've gone from dominance in the middle, him not there, and Bannockburn took it out every time. Now they scored. I know the stuffing's gone out of the game, but it just goes to show how important it is if you've got a winning ruckman who can get it out of there for you.
There's no doubt about that, and I think Bannockburn needed today. They needed Kieran Fulton to break even.
They needed 2 of him.
Well, they needed 2 of him, but they needed him to break even with Wilson in the ruck. And I thought he did it real early, but the amount of times Big Wilson followed up and got his own ball and handballed and kicked, and he was just fantastic. And but what do they do next week? Now, you've still got the question of what you do with Fulton. Right? If Bellpost Hill get up tomorrow, they don't really have a ruckman. Timmy Barton will have to go and do a lot of it. So you can take Fulton out of the ruck, or do you want him to dominate it and give it to Jack like they did a couple of years ago here? So there's still a problem there. But if they play West, they're playing against Jai Bowman. I know I've only seen him a quarter, but everyone tells me how good he is. So,
you got the early call. Who are you coaching tomorrow?
Who's playing? Western Inverleigh. Western Bellpost. I don't know. Well, you can text Butchie Shaw and tell him
which he wants.
He can take his pick.
They'll flip of the coin.
All right, well, just based on the conversation you've had, because I've been fascinated all week thinking about the importance of this game, and Jai Bowman comes back. We saw Tim Barton play a half in the back line last week and was dominant.
Yep.
And then he played a half in the ruck and was dominant. So you've got Bohm and you've got Blake Dye. What do you do with him?
Well, I don't think Barton will play on Blake Dye. He's too big.
No, not on him, but if he's playing across half back, cutting off, that's going to be a vital role for him.
Well, he's another one you need two of, Timmy. It's as simple as that.
You know what? Both sides reload off the halfback very, very well. Bellpost Hill and West. I think it'd be actually a great battle of the marking targets. So you've got Mickey Lima at one end, who, in my eyes, is one of the best intercept marks in the comp. I put him up there with, with Filet and Barton. So I think if both sides can spread the defence a bit thinner and not just put it on the heads of these sort of blokes and give your Bartons and your Limas a chance to climb. You take them out of the game, I think it could be interesting.
Well, yeah, and I think another big interesting point is, I know my team lost today, but the coaching tactics that I think Belmont made a big mistake appointing you a couple of years ago. Even though we lost the game, I completely outcoached you all day.
6 weeks in, I was the only bloke calling for my head.
Dear. Now, another question for you two. You've seen a lot of Bellpost Hill during their great years and the way they played this ground so well. Do they have the talent in their current 22 to play that same form, or do you think they'll break down? Because there's a few in the side that don't have the skill level of the best of them.
They'll play all right. They'll play the game all right. They've still got enough players left that have played this ground and played in finals very, very well. They're getting a bit old. Pagey's starting. He might not play for much longer. Adrian Fantella's probably coming near the end. But they just know how to play the ground. But
you got to love Pagey. You got to love Pagey.
Oh, you do.
Keep going round and round and round.
Yeah.
And they keep asking a lot of him, keep getting up. And, there's a difference between mature and ancient, and he's ancient. But he still does it quite well.
Yeah, he still does it well. But I think West, if you look at West, and Mitch White is a very, very good coach. And I think if he can just run, he might run a couple of those blokes off his feet. So that is an option. And
it's the ground to do it on, isn't it?
I know a lot of people will go for Bellpost Hill, and I probably will myself, but they can win, West. Don't you worry about that. They can win, and I think it could be a thriller. So if you can't get out here tomorrow, sit close to your radio, 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. For the reason that you're talking before about getting the ball out into the space. If West do that, they'll be good, but the last two times, Bellpost Hill have choked them, haven't they? They just haven't been able to get out.
No, they haven't, but they might out here.
Yeah.
They might out here because, as I said, Whitey's a pretty good coach, and he'll have had a look at that. I mean, if blokes like you can pick it up, he can pick it up.
Righto, we've had enough here today of...
All right.
We thank Dale Smith, and hopefully he's behaving himself at the Geelong Footy Club. Go Cats tonight. Fremantle have had a big win. They'll certainly finish in the top four in the AFL. Barwon Heads unable to control Torquay. And Bannockburn unable to control Inverleigh. They'll play the winner of tomorrow's game, which we're looking forward to calling. Eleanor Nicol from Bannockburn Netball will be in the box tomorrow, as will Christian Shaw, Winchelsea coach. He'll be helping Grubby out, trying to find a winner. David Steele, thank you very much back in the studio. And Nathan Bissett, thank you for dropping in and helping us out today.
Fantastic
It's been
job,
an absolute pleasure, guys.
Great
I really
job.
appreciate the opportunity. Great team, and it's going to be great to listen to tomorrow.
This is 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football. Back to the studio.